Welcome to this week's episode of Campbell and Jones Meet the Monsters, a podcast where we chart the cinematic legacy of the classic monsters. I'm John Campbell. With me, as always, Brendan Jones.
Oh, am I always with you?
So far, I don't think you've missed a single episode of this show. It would be weird.
Oh, no,
since...
I thought you just meant in general, like in your heart, always with
I'm
you.
always. Brendan's always on my mind.
I'm kind of like a force ghost to you, aren't I?
That's right. Read the comics,
okay.
John, is what it says.
Always happy to be here. Always happy to talk about, well, a good movie on our podcast. It's always wonderful to talk about a good movie.
You know, when you're charting the cinematic legacy of the monsters, I would say it probably leans towards bad. I would say the scales don't weigh out in our favor.
We're up to the 2000s now,
yes.
And so from the 30s to the 2000s and I guess I always knew this, but when you look at the percentage of good to bad,
yeah,
what is it, like 8-9% is like truly classic and great, and then it's all crap.
It's like, and then there's maybe another 20% that's watchable.
Can be fun crap.
And then it's a nightmare. Yeah. Then it's just a nightmare. But
we should introduce the person that we snared to watch this with us.
Indeed, yes. This is welcome to the show, another Jones. If you're listening to our spin-off show, Price is Right, then you know him from that. Robin Jones is with us.
Yeah.
Hello, fellas. I'm just happy to be here to discuss these delightful, gruesome creatures.
You do know we're not doing the Vincent Price podcast.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, wait. Is he not in this?
No.
I swear I saw him in the background
listeners.
of a shot.
We actually put out sort of a call to our friends, family, and so forth about the movies of the 2000s. Like, does anyone want to, pick one and come on and talk with us? So my older brother actually surprised me by picking Dog Soldiers, which is a great movie. I just didn't know that you knew it, Robin. I didn't know that you were.
Yeah, I was going to ask. That was the first thing I was going to ask, Robin. Why'd you want to pick Dog Soldiers? Not because it is great.
No, it's terrific, and I'll tell you it falls into a genre of movie that doesn't happen as often as it used to, say post Vietnam, which is the Vietnam metaphor. I don't think the British filmmakers intended it necessarily this way. Right. They do mention Iraq in the film, but it's really this idea of the well-equipped morons, maybe a couple of decent fighting guys, in a situation where even though they've got the best equipment, they are way in over their heads. There's no way they're going to get out of this. And it all goes back to one of my favorite movies from the 1970s, Southern Comfort.
Wow, Walter Hill, man.
I would swear by that movie. I would die on a hill for that movie.
I love that movie as well.
Great movies. And then, on to Aliens, and then
I was going to say,
I think those three.
Yeah, no, that's actually kind of exactly the same here. I mean, despite the fact this works on a lot of different levels.
A lot of different levels.
I do like, and this is textbook, I do like people that show you it's possible to do an indie, low-budget horror film, even with makeup effects and stuff, and make it work. It doesn't have to end up being an embarrassing failure. So it has sort of the Night of the Living Dead thing too, which again, you've saved money by simple sets, one set, people locked in a place.
This movie, we've watched every Howling movie up to this point, and I gotta say, it's just like, this was possible? Because this couldn't have that much more money than some of those later Howling sequels. But just the craft, the acting, the structure of it, so much
acting. We'll get into that.
The smarts of putting this film together, they should teach it in a class. Yeah. Because it's just, to your point, Brendan, the single set and some exteriors, but not that many.
No.
And then they sink most of the money into visceral physical effects.
Which are
great. And you never see the creatures except in these blown up black and white photos at the very end of the movie. You don't really see them.
You see them in flashes, and they're effectively
they're effectively. It is something we bring up a lot on this show because we watch a lot of lower budget horror movies, And the thing is, like, yeah, take the Jaws lesson of hiding the thing, showing it briefly, because we see so many things where it's like, that effect is terrible. Why are you lingering on it in bright light?
Right.
It looks like
Silver Bullet, for instance.
Oh, which is a
movie which
I love that movie, but
we have an affection for it.
I wish the werewolf.
Yeah, it's like I want to put the camera on this thing that looks sort of like the Easter Bunny.
Yeah,
and you're like, that's maybe a mistake.
That movie
maybe
would be
let's keep that in the shadows.
A better
more.
werewolf. That would be a classic. I really think. If the effect, because the movie is so much fun.
I see so few werewolf movies that work or have a clever idea.
Yes.
That it holds up to your percentage that you were talking about, Brendan.
Yeah.
And that if you just take werewolf, because I think vampire movies you can get away with a lot more.
Oh yes.
You know, ghost movies you can get away with a lot more.
Yes.
And then the Frankenstein idea, not creating a creature necessarily, but science gone wrong. You can get away with a lot more.
That's incredibly flexible.
But werewolves, you really have to have a strong idea in order to nail it. And the best ideas I've seen besides this one, which was when I first read about it, was when I knew I wanted to see it, because it sounded like Southern Comfort with werewolves to me.
Yeah.
Or Aliens, but with werewolves.
Yeah.
But the only ones that really worked for me besides this are The Beast Must Die, the original Wolfman, just because of the anguish that Lon Chaney Jr. has.
Great.
He's good at being tortured.
American Werewolf in London, I think, is dynamite.
Yeah.
The first Howling.
The first
obviously.
Howling.
You're listing the good ones, buddy.
Yeah, these are.
And then
covered
Werewolves Within, which is like The Beast Must Die.
Which you sent me the trailer for, and it looks like such a great cast, but I haven't seen it.
I think we're covering that.
I am gonna beg you to see this movie.
Yeah, but it won't be till our next season, John, because it's
wait.
Recent.
I did.
Put it on the list.
It is on the list, and
really
now that I'm remembering the time, I did see this. It was very good. I also really enjoyed
the trailer. Looked awesome.
Sam Richardson is a hero. I mean, it's just all of it.
That guy is so good and needs to be
the way the
more
film
of a
was
lead
made. I think Wolf Lake. That movie was okay.
I also will throw in
one made by the guy who made Thunder Road.
Doesn't quite work, but as an update of werewolves, I still like Wolf.
Oh yes,
yeah.
I will say
this: the first half of Wolf is amazing.
Yes,
yeah.
The second half is okay, but the first half,
I think we did talk about where Mike
Nicholson underplaying everything and playing
Nicholson's great.
Character like he hasn't played since King of Marvin Gardens.
I think
it's just.
You can go back and listen to our episode, but I think we were let down by, and maybe not surprised that Mike Nichols, not an amazing action director. That was kind of where when it turned into like, now we got to do the wolf fighting. You get the sense Nichols was like, I don't know.
He was checked out. Then he jumps at a guy.
All right, is that what happens? Yeah.
It wasn't.
I
felt like it was incredibly well cast.
Great.
I know Elaine May worked on the script.
Yes, and that shows a lot. Also, it's very smart.
Her. And she's like the secretary or operator on the phone at one point.
Yes,
that's great.
You got a great creepy Spader in it.
Incredibly well cast. Christopher Plummer.
Yeah, it's really good. I enjoy the movie, even if it's kind of doesn't fully work. But here's a movie that does really work, and I will say. Only mummies have a worse track record with us, I think, on this show in terms of there are very few good werewolf movies, but there are only, I think, like 2 or 3 good mummy movies, period.
Yeah.
The thing with the Phantom we do the Phantom, we do the Gill Man as well.
Yes.
And the thing with the Phantom is it's almost always, and it makes sense, Phantom of the Opera, anytime they use that, they're just redoing the same
It's an adaptation.
And there's
another
adaptation
just kind
of
of
the same
what
story.
the aesthetics around it, right? It's just sort of what
and the story is
coat
still
they put
great,
on it.
but I mean, you're like, okay, so this is this guy's take.
But
the thing with Gilman, there's just not enough for you to really take a huge, you can't take a survey of Gilman movies.
I don't know, man. Humanoids of the Deep, come on, that was pretty
Humanoids
good.
from the Deep,
pretty good. No.
Well, it's terrible. But
obviously, I'm dealing with two experts here. I apologize.
Oh, that's okay. But
I mean, to try out my talented amateur musings.
Well, this started from us just stuck with nothing to do during the pandemic, so we started watching monster movies, and we're still doing it.
We had the Universal box set.
It started because we both bought the Universal Blu-ray box set, and here we are now talking about Dog Soldiers. Look at us now. But yes, this is
you're doing this from your palatial penthouse.
The other thing and it's the poll quote that's on the poster, which we'll talk about in a second. This poster, but yes, the most explosive and purely enjoyable horror debut since The Evil Dead. I do think, even though there's different sort of genre trappings, but it does have that. It reminds me of Evil Dead in that, just like, here is a young filmmaker who loves this genre and is just raring to go.
Yeah. And it was made for very little money. It didn't have
IMDb says
a world-class distributor.
IMDb quotes it as $2 million.
All
budget.
of that because all of the failed attempts to make a sequel.
Yes.
Since then, by guys who literally just bought the name Dog Soldiers.
Yes.
Yeah.
I first saw this on Sci-Fi Channel of all places because I think it just got dumped in American release, right? But it's certainly so much shit gets shown on Sci-Fi Channel. I remember seeing this and going, "Whoa, this is great!"
And you were still seeing it chopped down for Sci-Fi.
There was something other than reruns of Bill Bixby as the magician on Sci-Fi.
I used to. It was my Sci-Fi Channel
over and over.
When I was a kid on Sci-Fi Channel, my mornings were Lost in Space, Time Tunnel, and Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. They would just do the Irwin Allen Sci-Fi, and I would watch those before school. That was
that's why you kept referring to teachers as bubble-headed boobies.
That's right. Yes. Oh, and I had
mechanical bucket of boats.
I was such a cool kid going, "You'll never believe the planet the Robinsons landed on today." Yeah. So yes, that's sort of the thing. This movie is this sort of, it still is this hidden gem, and I do find, although I am glad now, and I got it a couple months ago when it came out, there's a nice 4K Shout Factory Collector's Edition of this now that they have.
Of Dog Soldiers?
Of Dog Soldiers, yeah. They went in and totally remastered. I
was going to ask you guys about this. I watched it on Amazon Prime today just to get ready for this, and it looked like it was shot. It looked like either the transfer was bad or that it was shot in a worse like film stock than I remembered when I first saw it.
Yeah,
I was reading about it, and there was there's been a bad transfer in the past.
Yeah, so I highly recommend the Shout or the Scream Factory. I guess, which is their
I would have liked to have seen that. I mean,
Neil Marshall went in and supervised a whole new transfer from the original film negative, and it still was definitely shot on lower stock, but it looks great, and I think adds to the grittiness of it, though. Like it pops
works
in that way now in the 4K, and there's
it looked like it was made in the 70s. That's one of the things I like about it, and one of the reasons why it reminds me of Southern Comfort.
Southern Comfort, yeah.
If you keep bringing that up, no,
dude, it's a great movie, guys.
It is.
It's not really a monster movie, but if you can't quite watch Deliverance, watch Southern Comfort.
Yes, I do think it is more palatable than Deliverance.
if you're mentioning the that is a subgenre that it reminds you of, the Vietnam metaphor, the subgenre that I connect it to and like it for, I love movies. There's always a subgenre where there's a movie of professional killers, badasses going up against something they can't understand and they're not ready for. I love that.
Well, I was going to say, I mean,
that's Predator.
Predator is what I was immediately. Yeah.
I mean, clearly, it's always a thing of like, we're people that you would fear if you met because we're badass military, and then they're like, I don't know what this is, and I can't handle it. I love those movies. I also think of The Keep, which is
Oh.
not a great movie, but it was a good book.
But there's a good movie in there.
There's a good movie in there, and I know the story is great.
And I know it got butchered.
Man.
I've always wanted to see the man cut of it. You know, that's before the studio got their hands on. But what's there, I do really enjoy. Still, I really dig the keep.
That's
and
a
the
subgenre
score.
I've always liked, where it's like, oh my god,
And
what is that?
This movie, then let's talk about
like
a third.
the Stephen King, The Cat from Hell.
The Cat from Hell.
Yeah, that's in Cat's Eye.
Yeah.
No, Tales from the Dark Side, the movie.
Yes.
With David Johansen and William
I never saw
Hickey.
Tales from the Dark Side, the movie.
It's a great story, and it's a great film segment. And Stephen King wrote several of those of professional killer.
Well, what's the one they
way
did?
in over his head.
The one with the hitman being attacked by the toy soldiers.
I forget the name of it, but William Hurt played it in
Nightmares and Dreamscapes, and I think that was my favorite of the Nightmares and Dreamscapes,
really
which was a mixed bag.
Yeah.
But that one's great, and William Hurt, of course.
Yeah, it's terrific, and it's all silent too.
Yes, there's no dialogue.
An
It's so
anthology
good.
movie that's a little hit and miss, huh?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I mean,
Always be diamonds.
but the other thing is,
Skull.
I'll add a third subgenre to this conversation, which is something I love, and this movie turns into, which is the siege film. The idea of the trying to hold the fort or whatever here, and it turns into that down the stretch. For like the whole second half of the movie, basically becomes that.
Right.
And it's
Right.
love
they're basically at the Alamo.
Yeah, I never
and
get
and
that's
the werewolves are.
and that is you talk about something that low budget horror often does really well, because it is a singular location where the threat is outside. I love if anybody's seen one of my favorites of most recent years was You're Next. I loved You're Next.
Great movie.
And also kind of
Brendan,
has.
I can't recommend it enough.
Kind of has the inverse of the thing where the killers outside don't realize the person inside is much more badass than they were anticipating.
I like that too.
Yeah.
Well, we've had the
movie.
genre. This last few years is a big upswing of the. You think he's just a normal guy, or look at that old man. Turns out
nobody
he can destroy you.
I love those movies. The Bob Odenkirk movie, Nobody.
Nobody was great.
It's the best.
There's a couple called Becky and the Wrath of
I
Becky.
just watched Wrath of Becky the other night.
We saw Becky, and we can't wait to see
Wrath of Becky. Is
Becky
so much
was one of the best things I've seen.
I'm so glad you brought those up. Becky is if you wanted an R-rated Home Alone with a kid killing Nazis,
it's better than that.
It's better than that. But
my brother's Die Hard Home Alone fan fiction thing he wrote.
It is so good.
Which I loved.
Okay,
it's better than that.
It's and Wrath of Becky is
the
equally
woman,
good.
When the potential stepmother goes, okay, I was kind of kidding when I said there's just a kid out there. Let me tell you what she's really doing. And she lays it all out for Kevin James. Oh my god!
Also,
all right, I'll watch.
Needs all of the awards.
Becky's great. Wrath of Becky equally good. A sequel
I haven't seen it. I want to see it.
It's so good. It really lives up to it. But anyway, let's talk about Dog Soldiers. Love the poster on this, real quick.
Oh, yeah.
It's got it sort of has that '80s movie, a little bit of The Howling, or a movie we didn't cover because Brendan vetoed it because it was a borderline wolf movie, which is Wolfen with Albert Finney.
Is not a werewolf movie.
No,
it's not technically a werewolf movie, but it is a. But anyway, this has that vibe of a lot of those with this superimposed kind of wolf face image on it.
And I'll say this: it also lowers your expectations, not in a bad way.
Yes,
this is it's not cartoony, but it's stylized, and this is a rare instance where the poster makes you think the makeup will look worse.
I know.
And then you see the movie and you're like, oh no, these look really good. The poster was fooling you. Usually it's the other way around. You look this and you're like, great werewolf on the poster, and then it looks like
we've had that happen.
A guy in a bunny suit.
That happens so much on this show.
Yeah, that happens a lot. But this is good. You got werewolf head in blue light because you're in like chilly forest at night, moonlight kind of thing. And then you've got a soldier guy standing dead center underneath the werewolf head, and he's obviously got a rifle and so forth. And then his shadow spreads out towards the bottom of the poster, and it's a werewolf shadow.
Love it.
No, it's all good.
It's very good.
And then you just have dog soldiers, simple font, and I do love the dog tags with blood on them. That's simple, but I like it.
And that, I think, is maintained through every release of it, every the Blu-ray is. I will say, as always, I love the Shout Factory art, which you can see in here if you scroll forward.
Is really nice.
It's very comic booky, like a lot of their stuff, with all the soldiers there with their guns and the wolves surrounding them. And once again, and the tagline on that is great, which is 6 men, full moon, no chance. That's good. I mean, that tells you that this movie is couldn't be more up my alley in terms of the mix of the
that's
action.
A lot better than the other taglines, which we do have to mention. The worst one is right at the top.
The other taglines here, which is that a bitch of a werewolf movie?
That's just so stupid. It's stupid and lame.
No, I don't know.
I'm angry.
Come on, man.
You've angered me now.
And then also not as good is imagine you're leading a 6-man squad on a routine army exercise. ...
Okay. No, give me a minute.
I gotta put myself there.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
Keep going. ...
And it all goes horribly wrong. It's like,
wow.
Can you be more specific?
No, I can't.
Bring enough snacks?
No.
That's as much as the... Yeah, that's the thing. Is sort of like, man...
One of the men is a terrible farter.
Yeah.
Oh,
come on, Cunningham.
IBS like you wouldn't believe.
Horrible IBS. Oh.
Did you have to have the second burrito? Jesus.
Actually, there is a guy who eats a lot and does vomit at one point.
Yes, but a good vomit gag in this.
A good vomit gag. Can we talk about actors in this thing, by the way? I mean, I know we'll get to it, but man,
this cast,
this is the best work.
Sean
Pertwee.
Love.
This is the best he ever was. I just look at this and he is so good in this.
He is one of those guys who's always...
I'll say he's my favorite thing in Gotham, too.
Yes.
I was going to say...
His Alfred on Gotham is fantastic.
Yeah.
I wish it had been a better show. Because
it had its moments.
That Alfred deserved a better show.
Yeah, this real hit and miss. I like some of the portrayals of the characters and less so the other ones. But he is an amazing Alfred. He's a guy who always stands out as a major positive.
He's always good,
solid.
But he's amazing in this. And I did find, I mean, I looked in the trivia, but I was sitting there going like, man, his drunk scene, that is amazing. And it turns out, no, he was really drunk.
Yeah, which is, I mean...
he really got drunk for his drunk scene and really got punched by accident.
Yeah.
I love that.
I don't know if he'd ever do that again. That's a young man's...
That's a young man's
choice.
Thing, and you've got to just be prepared to get whatever you're going to get, right? You know.
Yeah, it doesn't really work that well.
Yeah.
You can't...
Having worked with drunks...
There's the famous story from Jaws that Robert Shaw wanted to do the scene drunk, and he did it, and the footage was unusable, and they had to come back and reshoot because because you can't. I think for a thing like this,
the eyes of the shark a little. They were like black.
I think probably what worked here is they were just like, forget whatever's written, just we're gonna shoot it and whatever happens. I think when you're trying to actually do dialogue from a script and the guy's drunk.
Well, I mean, when a guy's drunk and you're trying to do a stage punch, of course he's going to get tagged because he's not going to pull back the way he should.
Well, actually, they put the blame for him getting tagged on the sober guy who's Kevin. What's his name?
Kevin McKidd.
Who's great. Has one of the great voices, by the way. That guy's great.
I will say, watching.
Well,
this
Sean
movie,
Pertwee too. He's got this John Hurt
and
a gravel voice that's just
but Kevin McKidd it's surprisingly deep and resonant.
And
I'm like, that's a really good voice.
Liam Cunningham's in this, who also has an amazing voice. All three of these. Because Cunningham is doing the voice of Man-at-Arms on the new Masters of the Universe Revelation.
There you go.
And he's so good.
But yeah, he's been in a million things too.
You mean Father of Tila?
Of course, Father of Tila. Who are you talking about?
Lover of the Sorceress?
Of course. Man-at-Arms has always been my favorite member of that cast. So that guy's awesome.
He's no John Cypher. But the thing
who is, though?
Who is?
Yeah.
You've got like 3 heavy hitters in these 3 guys.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so perfectly cast right off the bat.
Yep. And who is this? Emma Cleesby? She's fantastic as well, and I don't really know her.
She hasn't done a lot.
She's in the well, not the next movie he makes, but one of I did look up Neil Marshall as the writer director of this, who I've seen a handful of his movies, and he definitely continues to use the same people up. Pertwee's in almost all of his stuff.
I will say this: The Descent.
The Descent. That movie
is one of the only movies I've turned off.
That movie will fuck you up, man. Yeah. That movie is.
The claustrophobia thing, it was getting to me, and I'm like, I can't do it.
That movie
and
is
I turned it off before monsters ever showed up. Before the monsters even showed up.
Hey, Brendan, when the monsters show up, it's really gross.
I'm sure.
Pretty gross, yeah. That movie
but I couldn't get through them just being caught in these, like, passages, and I'm like, I can't do it. No.
But this woman's in this movie Doomsday.
He does a lot of Neil Marshall does a lot of TV.
A lot of TV.
That's why he hasn't made a lot of movies.
And a lot of good TV though. He did
really good TV.
Game of Thrones and Westworld and Hannibal. He was one of the. I think he did the pilot actually of the Netflix Lost in Space, which I was just talking about Lost in Space.
Oh, the pilot was really good,
which I enjoyed. I liked the
and actually
Lost in
season
Space
1 I liked. Season 2 I was like, what?
I thought Parker Posey was a great choice to reimagine that
Dr.
character, because either you're going to have somebody that's just kind of doing a riff on Jonathan Harris.
No, she did it really well.
Or you do what they did, which was
it was great.
Marshall also directed the David Harbour Hellboy, which it doesn't work, but I don't think it's as bad as people made it out to be. I think there's some good stuff in there, but I think
I'll tell you how much it doesn't work. No one associated with the film likes it.
No, that's it exactly. But I get
Marshall hated it. Yeah. Harbour hates it.
That's the thing, though, is
Mignola loved it.
that was the thing where he's like, finally, I'm going to do it right. Was Mignola's whole thing with that, and you go like, well, okay. The thing about that movie is, I totally see that it doesn't work, because I do see like, I see what Marshall's trying to do. I see what Harbour's trying to do. But you can see where it's not connecting. But there's some good moments in there, and Harbour as Hellboy is excellent.
No, that's great
choice.
It's a good casting.
But anyway, it seems like he's gone back to, and because he seems to have gone back to doing smaller British horror movies, which I now want to check out more of. The Reckoning and The Lair I haven't seen, and those are his last two movies.
Reckoning is very good.
Yeah, and
it's a kind of a not Salem witch trial, but British witch trial.
Yeah,
Did 16 you see it on Shudder. Is that one of your
Shudder
watches?
Yeah, they're both available on Shudder. I need to see The Lair, and he's got the same leading lady in both of those, and I think Sean Pertwee is in one, if not both of those.
Sean Pertwee's great in the Reckoning.
Yes.
But yeah, the woman from The Reckoning is his lady, and they have a production company.
And they wrote The Lair together. Oh, and that has Jamie Bamber from Battlestar Galactica, who I like quite a bit. So, yeah. So anyway, Neil Marshall though you talk about, boy, what an assured debut feature this is. He is
great,
so locked in, and yes, using his budget. But also, it has such a style. It has such atmosphere. The lighting, everything about it is it's great. It is, and we often sort of the same thing here and on my action movie podcast. Once a movie creeps up over 90 minutes in these genres, it's like, I don't know. But this one at 105 just cruises.
Yes. There's no lagging in this film,
and it spends just enough time in the build-up, which I think is always important in these, right? It's an army movie for just the right amount of time. It doesn't overstay or undersell it.
The one, it doesn't do everything perfectly, and there's some stuff in this that does crack me up, especially the opening, because literally it's Chekhov's letter opener.
Yeah.
Introduced in the first 5 minutes. Here's the thing, totally not addressed.
But I will say this:
the last possible moment.
I agree. Yeah. But having seen this show, having done this show for as long as we have, the fact that something was set up and came back at all clears it over like 90% of the movies we've watched.
It's very true.
Often we're like, wait, that thing never came back. Why wouldn't they bring that back? Here, you're waiting the whole movie basically to go like, when's that letter opener going to come into this again?
Yeah.
Because yes, We start with a couple camping out in the woods.
Yep.
The woman gifts the guy this, and they make it clear, silver letter opener.
It's heavy-handed.
Of course. But a movie like this,
he's a writer, I guess, and she's like, you'll be opening all your, fan mail or something with this. I got to do this. It's a fancy letter opener and it's solid silver, so be careful with it. And he's like, oh, you. And then they start making out, and within another thing I love about this movie is it's real lean, as in I do like a horror movie where somebody brings up mythology or the folklore, but it can often be really heavily handedly done.
God, yeah.
This just drops you into a werewolf kills them.
Yep.
Yeah.
I
love then we're somewhere else.
The effectiveness too of when they just the shot of the zipper on the tent going down.
Yeah.
Because these are a little bit smarter werewolves than we're used to dealing with.
Yes.
You know what the worst thing in this movie is, by the way?
What's that?
The score. Score's not good.
Oh, I like it.
No, the score is very TV movie, trying to be like bum 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 bum. I'm like,
I like it. It's got that Men on a Mission kind of thing though that I dig about. It's trying to do sort of a dirty. I mean, I don't think it's like amazing, but
did you want a lot of songs about the moon, maybe like popular?
I will say
about the moon.
I could have
put Moon Dance and Bad Moon Horizon.
Yeah,
you only get
this movie puts all of its dog puns and things like that just in the dialogue. There's plenty. Red Riding Hood mentions. Dog mentions.
The score, I could see it having maybe more of a stripped down like Carpenter-esque score to it. Maybe could have been more.
I really like later on. It's like even little things where when they're strapping. What's his character name? Is it? Oh, why am I blanking?
Wait, which one?
Main bad guy.
Ryan?
Captain Ryan.
There you go, Ryan. Yeah. And they're strapping him, to his chair because he's been healing, and they're like, "Oh, I'm suspicious of you." I just like the way Kevin guy. What's his character name?
Kevin McKidd. I don't remember.
Cooper.
Corporal guy.
Cooper. Right.
Private Cooper. Yeah.
I just love the way he goes, "Sit." Stay.
I
was like, that's nuts.
By the way, I looked up him because I love him in this movie, Kevin McKidd. I'm going, what's that?
He's in Rome, I think, isn't he?
Yeah, he was on Rome, but he's been on Grey's Anatomy since 2008. 339 episodes of Grey's Anatomy this guy's in.
So, in other words, he's got a nice house now.
He's got a very nice house. We were
couple
talking about, and just before we started recording, though, we were talking about DC animated movies, and he did do the voice of Thomas Wayne Batman in the Flashpoint animated movie.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool. And talk about his great voice. Perfect for that.
Yeah, I wonder what his American sounds like.
I think you can probably hear it each and every week on Grey's Anatomy on ABC.
Oh, so he's not playing like an English doctor?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Alex Kingston was on ER.
Yeah. Yes. I don't know. I don't think I've seen anything past the pilot of Grey's Anatomy, so I can't speak.
I've never even seen the pilot. No, I'm out of touch.
Oh, there was a time when Network TV was all there was that I watched every pilot.
Since you've been around. No.
Yeah. So yes, we immediately cut from this wolf attack, which we don't see the wolves, we just see a little bit of blood. I also like this movie knows when to go real gory and when to be suggestive of it. I think that's a good,
Sometimes you're like, oh, wasn't expecting the face.
Yeah.
And sometimes, yeah.
I went gory with the soldiers because the soldiers.
Hey, soldiers, yeah. Well, let's go right now to the soldiers. And we've got
this, by the way, the entire movie is taking place in the Scottish Highlands. So,
yes.
The vacation couple they are mentioned later. It's not like they're forgotten about, but they've become local folklore. But essentially, they got massacred. We've moved on, and then now we're out with apparently a British soldier is being tested, I guess, to join special forces.
Yeah,
and it's not going well. Because he refuses to do one very specific
because they capture. He's sneaking around. They come up. It's a classic, like, we got you. And then
you survived all of our traps. You're really good. But the thing a soldier really needs in special forces is to be able to cover his tracks. So anything that could track you needs to be taken care of. So you're going to shoot that dog.
Yeah, Liam Cunningham
which had tracked him.
who's always great, Liam Cunningham, and of course also was on Game of Thrones as mentioned.
Yes, and one of my favorite characters. What's great is
on Game of Thrones,
because he's a good actor. Here he is like the ultimate. You despise him. He's horrible.
Yeah.
And he's one of the most heroic characters.
Oh, hell yeah.
It's like, oh, the Onion Knight.
Man.
I love you.
I was trying to remember. Yes, he did also do he did that submarine Doctor Who episode, which is great, where he's the Russian commander.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Russian captain. Yeah.
So
he's
good.
He's also in a heist movie with Freddie Highmore.
I haven't seen that. The Vault.
It's really good. Yeah,
I need to check that out. I love a heist movie, and I love Freddie Highmore. I need to check that out. He's another guy who will come in and always just be fantastic. So yes, he's like, you've got to shoot this dog, and Cooper, our hero here, is like, no way, man, I'm not going to shoot that dog. What are you, crazy? And then to tell you already, you just fucking hate this guy. He then shoots the dog, the captain.
Right. He's a horrible person, John.
Neil Marshall, and it's not his fault.
He needs to be killed.
I don't believe the book Save the Cat had come out yet.
No, it should have been early.
As a screenwriting rule, I think Neil Marshall was off on his own. He's like, I'm going to kill a dog.
Well, though interestingly,
then I'm going to have a hero dog later in the movie.
I was going to say, though, interestingly,
it sets up Cooper, though.
You can still argue Cooper saved the cat. He at least refused to kill the cat. They didn't save the cat, then saves the dog later, though, because this situation plays out again later, where Captain Ryan is going to shoot the dog.
It's basic screenwriting that it's like, oh, well, you've done that, automatically telling us who's good, who's bad at the very beginning. Yeah. We know whose side we're on, and then later on it pays off in ways.
Between doing this and the B action movie show that I do, I have come to respect just solid standard screenwriting. Like, you just go like, man, when you just have just solid story beats, there's a reason there's a formula for this stuff. It really does work. And that's the thing here. We're not trying to reinvent the wheel, but it's a clever turn on tropes throughout this movie.
Oh, you guys have probably found when even the simplest of premises is executed well and with love and with engagement, there's nothing like it. I mean, I would swear by the first Tremors.
Yes.
Is this one? They're both very simple films.
One of my favorite monster movies, man. Tremors rules.
A lot of song and dance about mythology or culture or anything like that.
Well, also they do the smart thing, which is, as I've brought it before on this podcast, and it's something that you just read any Stephen King book. It doesn't matter how simple or complex the threat is or the plot. It is about character. And so we get a platoon of guys who, whether I can actually remember all their names, I remember Spoon and so forth, but they all have characteristics. It's true in Predator too, even in a big outlandish comic book way. You're like, I know what that guy's thing is. I know what this guy's thing is. You like them.
Again, it
you
goes
want
to
them
the
to
war,
survive.
Right. It goes to the war movie. The men on a mission. Trope.
That's such a great.
There's the guy who's sweet and innocent talking about his girlfriend. There's the tough guy, but he actually is great with animals. I mean, it's like all these things. Like,
that can be seen here, or as I was talking about on one of the other podcasts we've done. I've been rewatching through all of Spielberg's movies. Even something as grandiose and prestige as Saving Private Ryan does all that stuff too.
Oh, sure.
Even though it's a big awards movie, it's still just going, there's the guy from Brooklyn, there's the guy who loves his mom, there's the,
you can't just clump people together and expect an audience to care about a group.
Well, and immediately
Aliens did the same thing.
Aliens is Aliens
and Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos,
of course,
Sergeant Rock and Easy Company, and
Ice Cream Soldier, Little Sure Shot.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah, man. So we cut from and so
Dum Dum Dugan, former
Bulldozer.
circus strongman.
So you go to
Dave Jones.
He gets busted down for this. Cooper gets busted. You're going back to the troops, they say.
Yeah, so he didn't make it to Special Forces.
No, and so
then we cut to 4 years later.
Yeah, and
we're in the Scottish Highlands.
We're in the Scottish.
We should point out that not only did he refuse to kill the dog, once the dog was killed, Cooper hauls off and punches like knocks this dude out, and then of course the guy's like, I'm still a special forces guy and I could take you out. So the whole thing is he's remembered that. And the whole reason we find out later that Cooper's troop is the one brought out to be bait is literally like, I hate that guy.
Oh, remember
4 years ago he punches me. Now he's werewolf bait. It's so good.
Right.
Well,
even later we know that Cooper is the one that the werewolf trusts to get the werewolf out of that situation.
Right.
Yeah.
Probably because you can smell that he's kind to dogs on it.
Yeah.
Well, these guys, and then of course, as we'll see here, it's also like the classic trope thing too. It's like, no, he's the real leader, though, right? Like this is the guy who's actually got the goods. To get them out of this.
I would argue that the sergeant's still a real leader. It's just he's so incapacitated.
Yes.
Well,
but I guess
Cooper has to take over.
In comparison,
that's the shock of the movie, because we do get to know these group. I mean, they make the smart choice. You always front load characterization, so you get to know them. So we have scenes of this troop out on their patrol first. So they're talking.
They're on a training exercise.
And they're telling stories of their past, and they're doing all. So you get to know them. And so when Sean Pertwee's character, who is the leader, when he gets incapacitated, as you say, gets
his guts sliced
so quick
open.
and brutally. The audience is like, "What? You're taking him out? This movie doesn't." And then you're like, "Oh no, he's still with us."
Well, same thing. Even
actually, some super glue and some werewolf blood.
Which I love.
He's fine.
I love all that stuff because I love a military movie like this. So I love when they're like, "Yeah, we got to super glue his guts back together." You know, it's classic. Like. And they talk about
know where super glue came from. It was Nam. It's like they just developed something that would keep skin together.
I love that thing about why does it do the best job of sticking your fingers together? It's all
it was made.
Everybody in this movie is just so grim and gritty and soldier guy. You know, it's great,
but also likable and funny.
Because
who won the game? And it's like this is the most important footy match.
What's great is they're all these like. But the movie isn't. I mean, it's bloody and gory, but it's not. The movie isn't grim and gritty. It's intense and cool, and so it lets you have fun with the soldier types as opposed to being like that. They're just these stoic badasses. So they're running exercises immediately. You know, like no, because they make a point of saying, we only have blank ammunition, and these guys like, oh shit, we just know they're in trouble then. Because the first scary thing that happens to them is a mutilated cow just lands in the middle of their campsite.
Yeah, they're just sitting around shooting the breeze and talk. And they're also the whole thing is this is a military war game.
Yeah,
this is what they believe. And it's them versus special forces.
Yeah,
and
it's like we better not embarrass ourselves because the special forces guys are out there.
Yeah, so they're like, stay sharp, but they're still just hanging out at the fire and talking about stuff. And then suddenly this bloody, chewed up cow just drops out of the sky and freaks them out. And they're like, oh my God, like, is that real? Yes, it's real.
And I love that. That's where you have the guys.
Special forces carved it up to freak us out. And they're like, doesn't look like that looks like teeth marks.
Yeah, teeth marks. That's good. I do like the guy opening up at it with the machine guns. Like, what are you doing? We got blank ammunition and. What are you going to do? It's an already dead cow, you dumbass.
Yeah, one of them is so freaked out he starts shooting at the cow corpse, but of course they are only loaded with blanks.
Yeah. So they, so they're just like, anyway, let's continue moving on. And they eventually roll up on the Special Forces camp, which has been completely massacred.
It's a massacre, but there's no real bodies. What's really gross
they are stepping in guts, though, yeah.
Yes, there's entrails, and there's blood everywhere, and it's totally deserted. And they're like, this, I don't think, is part of the exercise. And because with the cow, the guy who's in charge of communications is like, should I call in and let them know? Like, no, not over a cow.
Yeah.
And this is probably them psyching us out, so don't use it. Then they get here and they're like, this is not part of the exercise. So call in for support. And he tries, battery's dead. Oh no, we can't reach them. And they're like, well, they've got live ammunition. That's weird. But let's go ahead and load up because something took them out. They're all dead.
Right.
But are they?
Right. Oh. And the radio's been cut because they go like, now you got to call it in. And we can't get a signal on the radio.
That's right. And then they're like, okay, we'll keep looking for stuff we can use. And at that point, suddenly somebody pops up.
There's a Ryan in a box.
There's Ryan.
Captain Ryan.
And he's been cut, up. But he's the only one alive. And the thing keeps shouting, there was only supposed to be one.
That's pretty great. And they're like, what are you talking about? Yeah. But he's in shock because he's been slashed across the chest. Yeah. And they're like, he's probably not going to last very long, but do what you can to keep them together. And they're trying to get more information, like who attacked you? And he just keeps saying there should have only been one. There was only supposed to be one.
Right. And this is something going to the aliens thing. You know, in all of the alien movies, the idea is not they come upon these things out of nowhere, but
instead, they've gone on a bug hunt. But it's
the corporate the
Weyland-Yutani,
the company has always wanted them to find these, and has always wanted to have one so that they can study and make something out of it.
This still would have been a good horror movie if they hadn't actually put in plot twists. But what makes it great is they're laying seeds that do pay off because there is a plot twist.
Well, I think that's actually it's that thing that takes it to the next level of writing, right? Where it's like, yeah, you can just do the very stripped down thing, but it's like, no, there's one level more of what's going on. And it gives this outside, like, military-industrial complex is the villain. They want an army of werewolves, obviously, if they could somehow replicate this. That's great. That makes it way scarier.
So basically, they've got Ryan, and they're like, should we just camp here? What are we going to do? And they're like, we just need to get back somewhere to where there's a radio, and we've got the Jeep. And one of them's like, guys, it's only like half an hour till dark.
Yeah.
And essentially, again, this movie moves like a train because they are attacked post-haste.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. It did. I love that, too, where it's like, this movie could have easily spent 45 minutes building dread and atmosphere. And some movies do that well. Most movies really don't do that well. And it kills pacing.
But there's something in the trees, and then they realize they're surrounded, and there's growling, and
the guy's trying to shoot it, and his gun's jammed.
Neil Marshall had the script for like 9 years before he could get all the financing. So he had all of that time to refine and refine and refine. And that would be yet another good lesson for any future filmmakers is if it's going to take you that long to raise money, don't just put the script in a box or something. Right. Keep looking at it. Because obviously he polished this thing within an inch of its life.
And that's kind of sometimes why people's first films end up being their best films, because they're toiling away at it forever. And then the next movie is like, well, I'm ready to go right now. And so you're just like, well, I need to write the script and go into it. But all the time you can take on this. And it just is this. The structure of this is so solid because, they do get attacked. I love the guy's gun is jammed. And then he's running. And suddenly it just cuts to a close-up and blood's coming out of his mouth. But it's not a werewolf. You see he's just been impaled on a tree branch. And then the wolf kills him.
Right. It's a great pullback to reveal the tree branch too. The way they pull the camera back and you see, oh Jesus God!
Now
like,
I will say,
but then once again, then the wolf kills him.
That's movie fantasy stuff. It's still a really effective thing. If you're running full out and wearing body armor, which he kind of is. Would it impale him? Probably. Would it go all the way through him before he realized that he was literally pinned to a tree? Probably not.
Need I quote our frequent guest, Elliot Lewis? But it's bitchin', Brendan.
Yeah. Thanks, Elliot.
We love Elliot.
You're right.
Always comes on here
to have someone look down like, oh my God, I am literally.
That is, if you haven't heard Elliot's episodes, that is frequently Brendan's logic complaints, and then Elliot's response of, but it's bitchin'.
And
can I
and Elliot's never
something
wrong.
else
it is bitchin'.
that Brendan hates in movies? This is just a general note, John,
when his brother talks in the middle of the movie?
No, this is going to be good. John, anytime in a movie where all of a sudden it's not just orchestration in the score, but also sort of a moaning choir that's not really singing words, but just kind of
It's always bugged me.
Brendan is losing his shit.
There are some classic Disney
Couldn't Mancini have just written words for that?
Goddamn Mancini. What a hack. Am I right?
Mancini! Damn it!
I just am like, if you're having voices, hey, how about some words? I'm a words guy. Words guy.
He likes the words.
Like,
No scat singing. No scat singing.
Could have been something that would have illustrated the feelings here instead of
wow. This is new. I've heard a lot of Brandon's nitpicks. I have not heard this before. Strong
also,
disagree.
I don't like eggs.
Boning.
All right, moving
Well, that
on.
I know. Anytime we've been anywhere and I order eggs, you flip out.
No eggs.
Also,
No
mushrooms.
Yeah, I'm with you on the mushrooms, actually.
Not having it.
All right.
Speaking of fine food, what are those werewolves eating?
Well, they're eating this guy because, like I said, I love the beat of, oh no, a werewolf. Then you're like, oh, he's dead from the. No, he's impaled, and then the wolf kills him. So good, man. That is how you do it. Do
you think that was a werewolf trap, like a classic werewolf?
Ooh, we're dealing with Rambo-esque werewolves.
The pointy tree branch.
Chase dude into tree.
Well, they do make a point. They do make a point later in the movie to say, while these werewolves are not speaking, they are literally, walking wolves.
And there is intelligence to what they're doing.
Yes,
I mean, they are trying to, we saw I said the thing about the zipper on the tent. We see them open doors later.
Right.
So
they're retaining a lot of their human intelligence.
Yes, they are, which makes them way scarier, right? Like all
they
of a
are
sudden
way scarier.
They're purposely, hunting.
But you know what's sweet? They're also a family.
Well, that is the thing. You turn the whole movie around from their perspective, and the soldiers are the villains.
When there's that one very touching scene, they go into the woods and they just all kind of do a group hug.
It's nice.
And they say, "Why won't these soldiers leave us alone?" No,
all we want to do is eat their faces.
Yeah, come on, man, we're hungry. Pertwee finds
they're a happy family except for the one werewolf who wants to get out of there.
Well, she's the black sheep of the family. The black wolf of the family. But Pertwee finds the guy's body, and then immediately he gets attacked and he's blasting away because his machine gun does work. But he gets sliced, and that is, as we're talking about, you're just like, good God, we're going to lose this guy? I thought Pertwee was going to be one of our main guys.
It really happens. So, I mean, and a lot of these kills in the movie, one thing I love about it is they are brutal and they are fast.
Yes.
And another complaint, going back to the very first, The Wolfman, which I do love.
Yes.
It's just because of the time period it was made in and the limitations on censorship and effects.
Right.
Any werewolf movie, they are the ones that kill by tearing people apart with their claws and their teeth.
Lon Chaney Wolfman.
Frankenstein monster snaps necks, and the vampires bite. But it's like, I want a werewolf movie to have this kind of.
We often talk about
thing.
the Wolfman often ended up like strangling people, and you're like, that's a weird thing for like a clawed, fanged creature.
Plus,
to do.
also the Wolfman wore a button-up shirt.
Yeah, well, we did always talk, but hey, man.
Hey, here's something. The obviously American Wolfman is the son of Claude Rains. How's that happen?
Two people that
was
could not
because he got bitten?
Like each other or sound like
and he's coming home to, what is that? Is that in Wales?
Dad, really kept the castle
up. If I'm remembering correctly, is that movie set in Wales?
This is nice.
But the Talbot name should be upheld, son.
But I just love the idea.
Yeah, I'll take care of that.
Like I said, he's coming home to, I think it's Wales, right, where it takes place.
Yeah,
and he's just like,
college,
back to my home
really
country of Wales. You know,
college turned you into a huge
and took away your. He
probably has a drinking problem. We're guessing.
Man,
I'm gonna go hit on that girl in the store across the street, Dad. I'll be right back.
Lon Chaney Jr.
You're awful cute.
They learned that quickly. Ditch
I'm
any.
A Talbot.
We talked about they learned that quickly. Ditch any attempt at a love story with Lon Chaney Jr.
Yeah,
that is death. All right. So
Lon no do love.
So now
look at that face.
They end up running across.
Lon no do love.
Oh man.
No.
You talk about the gnarliness of this death when Kevin
it's not a death.
Well, I'm sorry of this injury, but I'm saying when he's trying to put the guts back in Pertwee,
man,
and he's like, they're not gonna go back in right.
He's bringing the full Pertwee. It's great.
It is
so well acted.
And it is so well acted, and it's very war movie, and it is literally, you've got Cooper like going like, no, it's not that bad, and he's like going, my insides are out.
It made me think
no,
of
go right back in.
I was waiting for the Reservoir Dogs. You're gonna be okay, you know.
You're gonna be okay.
By the way, my son, after he watched Reservoir Dogs and True Romance, he goes, "That's enough Tarantino for me for a while."
Wow.
I said, I get it.
That's interesting.
He goes, I just watched 4 hours of people cursing more than I do, and I go,
okay. Man, I was a different kid. I was like, this man is. I've seen the light. More, He's everything to me. Yeah.
I need more.
I've cooled a little. Brendan knows that. I've cooled a little bit, but like high school me was like, Tarantino is God. You know. You know,
you
meanwhile,
don't want to be
in the cosmos, Eric Clapton.
That's
and
what I will say is the more he's given platforms to talk, the more I'm like, I don't know that I like this man.
You know what I love about his podcast? Everything but him.
Yes, yeah, it is. He opens his mouth, and I'm like,
the movies they cover are great. Yep. You know, like incredible taste. I just don't want to listen to him.
I'm like, but it is sort of things where it's like I tuned in once. Oh, they're talking about rollerball, and I'm like, oh, he's shitting on rollerball. Oh,
yeah.
Well,
or you have to watch. You know, I read his book, Cinema Speculation.
His book is filled with crazy opinions.
It's crazy, but I enjoyed the book much better than if I would have had to have listened to him.
Oh God, absolutely. But yeah.
All right, guys.
Yeah.
Back to Dog Soldiers.
All right. So they end up coming upon this woman who's driving down the road.
Oh, wait, you skipped one of my favorite bits,
which
was Pertwee telling Captain Ryan that these are my lads.
Oh
yes.
When they're going to do what I say.
Yeah.
You shut up.
I do love that. I love
so
basically
great.
From here on out, the whole way they're like, you don't have a fucking say in this, man. You're being cagey. You don't, you're not in charge of us.
There's also a great, like snobs versus slobs. This is basically Caddyshack. No,
it's a lot like Caddyshack.
They did try to get Bill Murray to be the
special
Sean
forces guys. Always look down on us, but this is our mission. And besides, they keep saying like, you don't have any insignia on you, man. So you're not even you're like a bystander. I don't care what you're
because
we don't know what your mission is, but we are doing our mission.
They've pieced together this is some kind of covert black ops off the books kind of operation.
Yeah, because they're like, why did you have live ammo? And he's just button-lipped. He's like, we were after you guys. Why were you?
Yeah, because it is sort of just like they don't know about the werewolves, but it is like, I don't know, man. It seems like you were gonna kill us or something, like.
He's. I don't know if you ever watched the TV show MASH, John, but he's
I'm familiar.
Colonel Flagg.
Yes.
Remember Colonel Flagg?
Yes,
CIA
I do
guy
remember
just
Colonel
go
Flagg.
up and bug the shit out of everybody.
Yeah,
of course. And
great.
there are I do like that where it's
Colonel
just
Flagg.
without the horror, even without the horror thing, it is just like, what the hell's going on out here, man? And so yes, they do run into this woman who becomes our lead and lone female character, aside from the woman who gets killed in the tent.
Essentially, they're in bad trouble because night has fallen and two people are seriously wounded now, and both leaders. And they're trying to keep it together, but they still hear things in the woods. They're coming after him, and luckily, this Land Rover pulls up and honks, and they're like, "Oh my God, great! It's a local." And she's like, "Get in!" And so they haul everybody into the Land Rover and take off.
Well, right before they take off,
one of those tense yes, they're stuck
werewolf
in the mud, and a werewolf ends up on top.
And you get once again, just the idea of using just the werewolf hand and the claws coming through the sunroof and clawing.
And I love
that
one of the guys, I can't remember which one, but literally just pulls a knife and just goes right into the forearm. This is all I know what to do.
There's so much of that in this movie where I love, where it's like, I don't know, I'm just gonna keep fucking stabbing this thing or slicing or whatever.
The last
kitchen
scene, unbelievable.
Yeah.
I mean,
I love that scene.
The visceral nature and the total that's what you do is like, I don't know what this is. It just needs to die right now.
Right.
Again, there's no at this point, no one's saying what it is yet. And the whole thing is all they have, and they are army people, they've got these weapons. So they fire them, and they're like, it doesn't seem to be killing them. It slows them down. They don't like it, but still, what is this? But they're doing anything they can.
The one thing
like
a werewolf hand.
Did you like the noise that the werewolf would make when it's hurt?
Yeah, it made dog noises. It was great. Dog whines.
Yeah,
really
just the one thing we know, they don't seem to like bullets. What can we do with that? And they don't like light, because later I love when they're using the flash on the camera to push them back. Yep,
and then that's another point of suspicion when they're like, "Hey, lady, how did you know that does things?"
That's the other thing is they do. This is a horror movie. So often in these movies, to further the plot, they have to make people very dumb. And I feel like they're always pretty smart, or at least they're in a situation where they wouldn't be thinking. But then when they're given the breath, particularly Cooper, who's our main character, is starting to go,
is that this is not real time, but it does, from this point on, it's pretty much we're with these people the whole time. And it is a survival thing where anyone putting coherent thought together is pretty impressive. So it seems naturalistic where little drops of information and suspicion start coming in. So right now, all they know is that she goes, "Get in," and they're like, "What were you doing out here?" And she goes, "We thought you guys came here to save us."
Right.
And they're like, "What?" And she's like, "Yeah, but I'm glad you're still alive." And they're like, "Well, what's the nearest place?" And she goes, "Man, there's not a town for 50 miles. I saw someone online being real snarky where they're like going, Neil Marshall should have done some research because there's not 50 miles between any town in Scotland."
Hey, that's one of those. That's one of those. Shut the fuck up, nerd. Good lord.
Because it's bitching. But anyway,
but it's also just like, it's a movie.
She's like, there is a family farm near here that I know of. They're nice people. They're good folks.
Yeah.
So let's go there. And they do.
They do, and everything goes just fine. No, wait.
Yeah, they just hunker down. They talk about their lives.
It's a happy ending.
Yeah,
it's like great. The Big Chill. It's great.
I thought it was really weird.
Dance old Motown music.
That's the kitchen scene we're talking about. Is when they all start dancing around. I heard it through the grapevine.
They go there. They go there, and Kevin Kline is there with a bunch of 1960s records. It's great.
That's right.
Lawrence Kasdan did a polish on just the second half of the movie. So they take them there. No one's there, but there's all this like, well, wait, there's still like hot soup on the stove, and the only living thing they find there is this dog.
Yes.
And they're like, well, that's weird. It seems like there were people here just moments ago.
And the lady is like, well, I don't like to think about what that means. I hope they weren't gotten, or maybe they escaped. Why did they leave the dog behind? I don't know. And they're like, does the phone work? And she's like, no.
Oh no. Lord, no. It's just like, of course not, right? So they're like, all right, well, we got to, okay, we can hole up here, right? This is where they're talking about, okay, well, if we wait till daylight, she can drive them to the next town, right? Because they do have the car, but they're like, let's stay here. We'll at least get Pertwee to a town, call somebody to come back for everybody because he's in bad shape.
I can't remember what point they're like, screw that, we are going to try and drive tonight. Go out there.
I think that's this, because then this is where you get the first look at the werewolves. It's so cool when Cooper goes outside and he lights up the flare and he sees them. Yeah. And then he's just like, oh, fuck. And he just starts opening up.
They're behind the trees. And again, as shadowy
there's a
shapes,
bunch of them, yeah.
And there's a few close-up shots we'll get later in the movie where, like, they picked the right...
They look pretty good.
Angles.
They pick the right angles. They stay on it for the exact right amount of time.
These are very tall werewolves,
which
similar
is great.
to the Howling, and I'm not a huge fan of crazy tall werewolves because I don't know why they have to be crazy tall.
But I like the idea of they're still upright.
Then I realize it's because they have to put this big wolf head on top of an actor, and he's looking through the neck. So the wolf's head is up here with all the animatronics.
Yeah, it
still looks awesome. They look cool, awesome.
And like you're saying, they cut a great.
He's in his 50s, and he's just realized this.
Well, listen.
Oh my! In fact, it hit him last night. He woke up in the middle of the night.
All werewolves should be brown, have torn up green jeans, and look like the drawings of one Mike Plug.
This is a problem.
Werewolf by Night.
Oh. By the way,
he never made it second grade.
By the way, if you want to watch a good werewolf thing, that Werewolf by Night thing that Marvel made, fantastic.
So good.
Great.
So good. Love it.
That's a good werewolf movie. All right.
That's a good one. That's a good
with
one.
With a nice swamp man in it.
They're going with it, and he burns at the things that are afraid.
If you're scared, you're gonna burn.
Yeah, you're gonna burn. It's gonna hurt.
Where was the? We always joke about that. We wish Martin and Lewis had. They did sort of the haunted house movie, but
they did Scared Stiff.
Which is great. But I would love if they have done like a hey, what is that over there, little buddy? Is that a werewolf I'm seeing?
I don't want to pet the doggy.
It's not a nice doggy. That.
No, the most that it ever got was when Jerry Lewis directed that sequel to the Peter Lawford, Sammy Davis Jr. Salt and Pepper movie.
That's right.
Called One More Time.
One More Time.
God.
And at one point, they're in a big British castle somewhere.
Yep.
And Sammy Davis is just kind of scared and wandering around the castle. And he walks into a dungeon where Christopher Lee and Peter Cushing are there.
Yep.
Yes.
Dressed up as Frankenstein and Dr. Frankenstein and Count Dracula. Yep. And that's like, hi. And then he says something like, here come the judge. I don't remember. But anyway, the point is, Jerry Lewis directed that.
Yeah.
And that was his idea.
There you go.
Oh, very nice.
Love it.
Well, let's also not forget that Christopher Lee showed up in Magic Christian.
I will never forget that.
Okay.
How could anyone? I'm actually surprised Christopher Lee didn't find his way into this movie. It's a British monster movie. Isn't he always stiffing around these? Even now that he's dead, he's still trying to get in them.
The father of the pack, if you know what I mean.
That's what I would. Yeah, that's obviously what he would be.
Take it to basically
or
werewolf.
If he were younger, Captain Ryan. He would.
Yeah. But I was gonna say he's basically just his Wicker Man character, but as a werewolf, right?
Right. That's exactly what I was saying.
So, and he would also sing. Yeah, Lord Summerisle, and he would also sing.
Lovely being a werewolf.
How much is that doggy in the window?
All right, so yes, they all of a sudden he starts firing out into the woods. He hits the truck. It explodes.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're trapped. Now they're really trapped. Before they were kind of trapped. Now they're really trapped.
They're crazy trapped right now.
And surrounded by werewolves.
Oh,
this is where Cooper says to everybody, short bursts.
Short bursts, because so far everyone's first response has just been to lay on that trigger, man.
Yeah, he's like conserve your ammo, man.
Which is always one of the things that makes me laugh the most in the first Predator, that these highly trained special ops guys basically waste all their ammo on, they can't even see anything, and they just fire. There's like 5 minutes of them firing into trees. And you're like,
they learned marksmanship from Tim Curry in The Shadow.
A movie that hadn't even come out yet still influenced them somehow.
Yes, yeah.
Maybe the best madcap machine gun firing in film history.
Oh, it's great.
It is.
It's terrific
at the mouth. I love it.
I will tell you that The Shadow has maybe 3 other great scenes in it, and the rest of it is bullshit.
Agreed.
I love that movie.
I know.
I'm sorry. I dig that movie quite a bit.
John?
Yeah.
The Jones Brothers, no good Shadow. And I'm sorry, John, you were a child when you saw it, and that's why you love it.
Tim Curry with a machine gun.
Yeah.
When Lamont Cranston realizes the hotel.
That's my favorite. That is my favorite scene. Yeah.
And the Shadow
and the scene on the bridge. The scene
where
on the
he
bridge
just poses,
so,
and you're like,
but the setup with the speaking and God,
and the sound design.
The sound design, just amazing. And you watch those 3 or 4 scenes, and you just think, can the rest of the movie been like this?
There we go. Sorry, John. John, to gang up.
It has a fan base, and there is. I do have the Shout Factory Collector's Edition of that movie. So
to John, there's no Margot Lane except Penelope Ann Miller.
Well, to be fair, I don't have a lot of other Margot Lanes to choose from at the moment. So yes, this is where short bursts and everybody. Okay, the big thing is she at this point goes, oh yeah, no, they're human wolves. She doesn't say werewolves, I don't think yet, but she's just like, well, they're not quite man, they're not quite wolves. That's what you're dealing with. And I do like the way this movie is
he goes Wolfmans.
Yeah. Oh, Wolfmans. That's what he says. Yes. They're Wolfmans. And I love the way that they're just like, I don't know. That's what it seems like. We don't really have time to dig into how accurate that is. On first glance, it looks like it's Wolfmans. We're just going to move along with that and deal with the situation at hand.
Right.
Yeah.
Because we always get tired of people trying to having to convince people, you're crazy. There's no way it's a werewolf. I just that in horror movies always drives me up the wall when it's like, there's no such thing.
That's what makes Cooper so great, is that he just takes in and goes, all right, so here's what we need to do.
Yeah, he's looking at it tactically.
He goes, okay, then let's do
She basically says, like, well, you've seen it, so are we gonna? And he's like, yeah, all right. Well, I mean, it's as good an excuse or explanation as anything.
Yeah,
and that's exactly what a military guy.
Well, that's the thing. He's thinking tactically. He just goes like, "Well, that's the information we have. That's how we move forward at the moment until we get conflicting information." So, but in the meantime, the main thing we need to do is hole up, and we've got to
kill this guy Ryan. Just kill him. Kill him over and over.
Well, because the dog, as the werewolves are surrounding the place, this dog is freaking out. And he's like, Ryan's biggest concern is somebody shut that dog up.
Ryan hates dogs.
Yeah.
Why he wants to be a werewolf. It's crazy.
I know, it's so, I don't understand.
He wants to become the thing he hates.
When they gave me the order to go look for the werewolves, I said, are you aware I fucking hate dogs? All right?
That's right. They're basically just big dogs, right? Yeah. Great.
Yeah, it's right.
Wait, I can kill them, right?
Hold on, bring one back alive.
Study. I can bring it back dead, though.
Yeah,
if you have to.
Well, the whole thing.
That's what I'll do.
The whole thing that eventually, when they get some truth out of him, is him telling them, "This is not me jumping over major plot," because at this point, it is a lot of the fighting scenes from inside the cabin, and also chatty chat. But essentially, Ryan comes clean at this point, where he basically says, "Look. The government knows these things exist. They want to use this for military purposes. They don't know how, but we were sent out to get the werewolves. That was what our purpose was. Your purpose was to be bait. You were supposed to be, we purposely left a pathway open, which would have put you right there in their feeding ground, and you would have been eaten up, and we would have gotten the werewolves. Unfortunately, they got to us first. So basically, which of course makes Cooper like, you bastard. We were bait.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, absolutely. And then we get another truth telling from the woman where she goes, okay, look, I do know this family, and they've seen pictures of the family on the walls and so forth. She goes, but really, I was working with those guys, the service guys.
I do like that thing where it's just like, what's going on? She goes, we've met about Captain Ryan.
Yeah, exactly. We've met. And she goes, because I was the expert on these things, because they have been around here a long time.
Which I like.
Which is why once again, I know they're lycanthropes. And
the series of reveals, you're like, okay, that's what her thing in it is.
Step by step, and you totally buy it.
Yeah, and then it just keeps, and then
you're like, and she goes, our only chance, we can't fight them. She goes, our only chance is to wait till day, and that's about 6 hours.
And then he goes, we don't have, what's Pertwee? That he doesn't have 6 hours. He's got 4 at most. And so this is when there's a Jeep that's in the barn. They realize, okay, well, if we could,
there's another vehicle that the family owned that's in the barn.
If
so
we
they're going to
get to that
the barn
and hotwire it, we can get out of here.
In order to do that, they need a distraction. So they tell one of them, who's
it's either Joe, Bruce, or Terry.
I think he's. I think it's the guy who's obsessed with the game.
Yeah,
who's like the louder and obnoxious.
By the way, there's the guy named Bruce. Apparently, his name technically is Bruce Campbell. If you look at like what his uniform is or whatever. They call him Bruce, and the name on his pack or whatever says Campbell. There's a little nod.
Do you think that's a wink? Do you think that's a wink?
According to Neil Marshall, that's a wink. Yes.
Very nice. I'm glad that he messed up.
Yeah.
But basically, they're like, all right, this guy is going to run to the barn to try and fix up the Jeep. You go out there and distract the werewolves. Man, that's a terrible job. But he's like, okay. And so he goes out there with a flare and just goes, come at me. Yeah,
that's
right
great.
Here.
It's very Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park here.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. And then I do like what they're like once the werewolf's at him, and then you just got Cooper badass going like, "Move your ass, get out of there!" It's all very. Yep. I love the peaks and valleys of this movie are so good. Like it ramps up to these extreme levels, and there's guns and screaming and fire, and then it'll kind of subdue, and then it'll go up again. It's such a great,
and at this
perfect
point,
like roller
they
coaster.
They do a great job of convincing you, like, oh, that guy's dead.
Yes.
But he actually does run to the window, like they had set this up. Runs to the window of the bedroom, which is where Pertwee's character is recuperating.
Right.
And there's rope, so they're like, move your ass, and he's trying to climb up into the window with the werewolves after him. He is successfully brought in, even though there's craziness with the bed, and the rope pulls the bed towards there's all kinds of stuff there. But anyway, he does survive. The guy in the barn, though, guess what? There's a werewolf in the barn,
and it's just munching on a guy, which is great.
It's munching on the member of their group that they thought was dead and gone already.
Right.
He's literally in there and still somewhat alive, like looking at him like and then the werewolf was like literally just chewing on his face.
And then when he sees the guy in the Jeep, he takes that guy's severed head and throws it at the windshield.
Yes. This
Holy
is
shit!
That isn't about I'm just here to eat. He's like going, no, I'm psychologically torturing you because here's your friend's head and boom, I'm throwing it at you. And the guy is like, ah! And he does successfully start the thing back out of there, but it still doesn't go well.
Yes, it still does not go well because he speeds it out of there. And then I love this moment where he's just stalled there and he goes, "You're behind me, aren't you?"
Yes, this was in the trailer, if I remember correctly.
Oh, it had to be.
You're there behind me, and you don't see the werewolf. You just see this plume of breath because, of course, it's freezing.
It's so good, man.
You see this plume of breath by his head, and you're like, "Oh, nice."
It's why Neil Marshall's so good.
And then the werewolf does move forward, and then they're fighting in there, and he's like, "Damn it!" He's like, "Well, fine.
Like
we're in here. I'm going to take you down."
This is what separates a guy like Neil Marshall from so many of the other people, and why I think he continues to still work on stuff is, he knows when to hold back. He knows, like, this is the better effect. He's not just some of these guys get in here and just go, I want to show a werewolf ribbon a guy because it's fucking cool, man. It's very
he's
artistic.
Got the breath, and then it cuts to the outside of the car. You just see blood splatter the windshield.
And the whole thing is the whole Jeep is shaking around.
The vehicle's shaking.
And there's sprays of blood on the windows, and you hear growling and screaming, and it's just like, man, that's just...
And I love the moment from inside with Cooper and everybody just going like, well, that's not going to work then.
Well, I guess that's it for that Jeep. Okay, what's next?
Well, they do talk about in the ensuing thing, whatever, like the Jeep has been mostly destroyed through that anyway, right? It's in bad shape. Right. They're not going to be able to drive it. By the way,
also somewhere in this, again, not that these moments aren't awesome. It's just the sequence. It gets mixed up. But during some of the talk parts, Cooper becomes aware, as does most everybody. It's like, hey, Ryan, you seem to be feeling a lot better.
Yeah.
And let's look at that wound. And he's already defensive, like, what? No. And then they're like, look at that. It seems to be healing up. And they're like, dude, you're becoming one of them. And he's like, nah, no.
That's crazy.
No.
Yeah,
because I hate Zogs. And I'm not going to be one.
But also, Pertwee upstairs, after being at death's door and being anesthetized with alcohol and then them punching him to put him out.
I do love
because
that.
They have to stitch him up. But he also seems to be getting better, which he's aware of, too.
And I love that moment.
The scene where they have him, Cooper punch him, and the first time he goes, You can hit on that, you girl. It knocks him out.
I love the moment.
I was sitting there going, "Your drunk acting's amazing," and then I read, "Oh, he was really."
I love the moment though where McKidd is like, "Are you feeling better?" And Pertwee's going, "I'm feeling amazing," and then just the beat of him going, "That's probably not good, right?" Like,
it's like,
so good. By the way, just as a note here, as I'm looking through the trivia, the original choice for Cooper was Jason Statham. Which he wouldn't have been a known. Unfortunately, he ended up leaving this to go do.
John has gotten better over time. This guy is an actual actor. No offense, Mr. Statham.
Wait, Jason Statham is an actual actor. Come on, he is a professional actor.
He has gotten better over time. But he does certain things very well.
He would have been coming off of. He would have been coming off of like Lock, Stock, and Snatch probably at this point. But anyway, he chose instead to do, which at the time probably made sense and probably did get paid more, John Carpenter's Ghosts of Mars, which is not a good movie.
One of the greatest.
But I don't know who. I mean, what agent wouldn't go?
John. Yeah. It's not a good movie.
No, it's not a good movie by any stretch of the imagination. What I'm saying, though, is I could totally imagine, though, it's like an agent going, what are you going to do, a small little indie horror movie in Scotland? You can go do a studio picture with Carpenter.
With Ice Cube.
But the other person who was supposed to be one of the soldiers...
Natasha Henstridge.
I
won't hear anything wrong about her. She's a goddess.
I guess she's okay. I don't know. The other person who was supposed to be one of the soldiers was Simon Pegg. I love this story that it was Edgar Wright who convinced him not to do it, going, "Your horror debut has to be an hour movie."
Right.
And what a nerdy response of just like, no, I need to be the guy to first use you in a horror movie. That's such a genre nerd attitude from Edgar.
By the way, Robin, based on you and Stacy blathering, this is side. You can cut this out, John. I started watching Midsummer Murders from the beginning.
Oh, okay. Yeah, get ready to see every future British star.
Well, some were already, like, in the very first one, you've got Emily
Mortimer.
Yeah.
But also in the very first one, Jessica Hines.
Oh,
yes. And it's so weird to see, wonderful. Like, 19-year-old Jessica Hines in this before Spaced. I'm like, oh.
She was known for sketch comedy.
Yeah, I look at Midsummer Murders very much like a British Law and Order, where just like everybody's psych. It's almost like a rite of passage.
It is. I think it's more a British Law and Order than the British Law and Order.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, it is sort of like that. That was it.
It's stunning. Also, if you watch it, every episode is these weird murders. So I think for the first few seasons they used, one might argue they overused a theremin quite a bit in the show.
Maybe, perhaps.
That's all right.
But in Brennan's defense, nobody moans over the score.
All right, shut up. It's not like an irrational feat or anything. We are on a soundtrack.
I've seen you throw your hands up in disgust watching.
Couldn't be bothered, huh?
I gotta say though, we're gonna now be looking out for that. We're gonna now be looking out for that in scores on this show.
You're literally missing on half the 70s horror, brother.
I will take all Theremin all day over just gobbledygoo stuff. All right. Anyway, moving on.
All right, moving on. So
back to Pertwee.
Pertwee. Yeah, Pertwee. Love him, and love his dad.
National treasure.
Yeah.
Treasures. That's one thing I wanted to bring up. Two guys who sound nothing alike but look exactly alike.
They look so much alike and don't.
That was also actually that was also in the trivia here, or I was looking at the actors. Liam Cunningham was in the running for Doctor Who at one point to be the Doctor. When they gave it to Paul McGann for the American movie, Liam Cunningham was one of the people that was.
That would have been a mistake.
It would have been a mistake because.
Liam, he would have done a fine job. He's a very good actor, but there's one that's a dashing romantic lead.
I've always that movie doesn't completely work, but McGann deserves so much better. Such a perfect Doctor in that.
Yeah, he's terrific.
Yeah,
he was David Tennant before David Tennant.
Absolutely,
he really nails that kind of
we were just
talking.
Oh yeah, right. No, I was gonna say we were just talking about, but by that I mean next week we'll be talking about Paul McGann because we definitely haven't recorded these in a different order.
Nope.
What?
So yeah. All right. So they. This is the point where the power goes out too, which of course.
Oh yeah.
And it's like, uh-oh.
Because they're smart werewolves.
Yeah,
they're
now
really
the power's out. And this is where he's like, I do like when McKidd is just like, all right, everybody, look for anything we can use as a weapon. I mean, that's just my kind of movie right there. As soon as anybody goes, we got to find
They totally
weapons.
A-teamed it up.
Yeah.
I do like the way I do like the way this family of werewolves out in the Scottish Highlands. Spoiler alert: the werewolves are the family.
Yes.
That this is their cabin. But I like the way they have a ceremonial sword in there.
I love. That's my favorite.
Neil Marshall go like, "There's going to be a sword."
That's my favorite. That is such great like action movie or comic book. Somebody just opens up a chest and goes and pulls out a fucking broadsword.
Yeah.
And it's just cool because other people are grabbing kitchen knives.
And then one of the soldiers apparently a sword ace.
Yes.
Yep. Or at least good enough to shove it through a werewolf.
But I mean, he swings it around and does.
That's true. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I do like that. But like other guys are grabbing kitchen knives. They get. They start boiling water because they're going to throw that. I mean, they're just doing anything. It's
anything.
And I think it's later once of course it's revealed that the family are the werewolves. I do like when they're grabbing all the silverware and they're like, yeah, a werewolf wouldn't have much silver in the house.
Yeah, very smart. But the whole thing is, and Pertwee barricades himself in the bathroom because he's still pretty weak, but he does the old spray can.
It's so good, man! I never get tired of that. Very Rorschach.
The only way these guys are kind of dumb. The only like horror movie necessary stupidity from some smart, tough guys is there's so much in this movie. There's about 2 or 3 scenes where people pretty lackadaisically are standing close to a window and talking inward at somebody else, and almost something cocky like, "Yeah, that'll show them." Before hands burst through the window, and
there is that one guy who they push the thing back, and he's like, "Werewolves." What does he say? More like pussies or something like that? What is it? He's got a line?
Something like that.
Yeah, more like kittens or something like that, and then just immediately gets grabbed, of course, and you're like, "Oh yes, of course."
He set himself up for that.
Yeah, just sort of like you're like 3, 2, 1, got him.
It's true to the name. This isn't about an elite group of ace.
These are dogs.
These are not the Special Forces guys. The Special Forces guys got taken out. The only thing is, obviously, the idea of the Cooper character is he was good enough to at least qualify, which is why he's better than anybody here.
Right, but these guys are all like, they're dog soldiers. They're the sergeant's lads. They're guys that know what to do in certain circumstances, but they're
You don't need to lay that out because it's all there in that scene where Bill Murray does that inspirational speech right before they go out and do their big
that's the fact
when they do their march in front of the general.
Yeah.
And Warren Razzle.
Jack.
And Warren Oates is like, ooh.
Yeah. Then he gets on top of the Jeep and he starts screaming.
There's something wrong with it. Something very, very wrong with
it. Stripes, a movie Quentin Tarantino in that book does not care for.
What is his problem?
He hates the 80s. He has a whole thing about why 80s movies are terrible and 70s movies are awesome.
And then he also starts dating everything he writes as saying it's 3 a.m. He's at the video store. It's him and his coworker, and he's been drinking a lot of coffee.
Yeah.
Wow. Now that part I made up.
Oh, okay.
But here's the thing. But
that's the way these things read. I mean, that's what I thought it was interesting. But you could just see if you were trapped at work with this guy.
The poor customers who came into Video Archives and would ask one question and be there for an hour.
Right.
You're like,
look, I just want, do you have Herbie Goes Bananas or not?
Okay, here's the thing, man. The thing about what Kirby represents. Yeah.
You're not even talking about, what if Brian De Palma directed Taxi Driver?
You think about that, man.
I want Herbie Goes Bananas.
Okay, here's the thing, man.
I'll
Hardcore.
also take Going Coconuts, the Donnie and Marie movie.
Here's the thing, man. Hardcore is great right up until the fucking Paul Schrader had to put that stupid Hollywood ending on it. I mean, he's always complaining about the end of Hardcore, and you're like, oh my god.
Right.
Just
right.
No movie should ever end well, man. It used to have the balls to make a movie end poorly, man. Anyway,
okay, so back to Dogs.
Brendan, it's an interesting book. I wouldn't pay full price.
No, but but you're right in that it very much reads like he talks. Like you can hear in everything. It is like, okay, here's the deal,
you grateful
man.
that you're not listening to an audiobook.
You know what's
I feel like I am though.
You know what's interesting is he doesn't read the audiobook. I looked it up, and he does not read it, which is so weird.
Who is it?
It's just some voiceover guy, but it's just like imagining
Ghost of
somebody,
David Carradine?
Just somebody, No, it's Jim Brown, right? It's like some 70s icon. He's like, man. All right, I got Jim Brown. I got Slaughter in here to read it, man. All right.
Okay. Ghost of Aldo Ray.
Perfect. All right. So yes, they
Chef's kiss, Brendan.
When that guy gets taken though, because when another guy gets grabbed through the window, what you're talking about with this, I do love Kevin McKidd just lopping off that werewolf arm with the broadsword, which is
there you go.
That's
what you want.
I got my money's worth right there, man. That was
that's what you're paying for. It's a movie that pays off on everything. I would also argue. Here's my hot take.
Oh.
It's the Die Hard of werewolf movies.
Oh, I think 100%. Yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Only with a group. It's not the solo guy versus a whole group. It's a group against a group, and they get winnowed down as happens.
But if you looked at it objectively, it should have been the special services guys that are the ones trapped in the cabin. And instead they're all wiped out to a 1,
which is great.
It's actually the grunts that were able to winnow these
which
guys
makes
down.
us as an audience so much more on their side, because they're the guys who are put down, and they're the guys who are being hunted in the war game. You know, that whole sequence, and of course they're actually being used as expendable. I love that moment too when they realize that when he goes, you were bait, or was it we were bait for you? What is he talking about? You were bait for the wolves, and we were bait for you, or something like that. It's this like double thing where it's like the government's using you as bait, and you were using us as bait, and we're all. It's just sort of it all kind of winnows down into who's more expendable.
And at some point during all of this, the assault from outside, there finally is like Ryan's like bah, 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 bah. He has like a fit, and then his eyes go crazy, and they're like, oh no. And he starts to change, and he's got the claws, and he does the thing on the table, and he just slides down, and then when he gets back up, it's full on buddy love. It is so great.
And he sings that old Black Magic.
Yes, and he goes, "Vampira, bring your kit."
You know what I love? I think you can. I'm sure there are more popular and successful monster podcasts.
Cooper go, what'll it be, please, sir?
I was gonna say,
what'll it be?
I think there are more.
Anybody ever tell you couldn't sing?
I think there are more successful and popular monster podcasts, but I know this: we have the most Jerry Lewis references of any of them. I can assure you of that. Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. That absolutely. I will put us up against anyone.
So did Hitler.
All right.
I should only hope you get cancer.
The best, man. All right. So now he runs out. McKidd does run the sword through him, because that'll come back later. Which I love the werewolf design, with just the big sword blade sticking out of his chest later, and one of the most visceral and horrifying
when he
moments.
Comes back. That's how you know it's him.
Yes, that is great. And also,
Ryan is the werewolf that has the sword through his chest.
Yes, and leads to one of the moments that's not even a gore moment, but kind of where you just go, with the teeth. But they do. They're like, all right, we gotta. Oh, I love this line before they realize she says, the woman says, oh yeah, well, when they're in human form, they're all really nice people. And McKidd just goes, well, that's too bad, because we're going to kill them all.
Yeah, it's like, that's a shame, because we're going to kill them all.
Yeah. And this is where it's like, and Pertwee is like, you guys run off. I'm obviously turning. I'll hold them off, which I kind of wanted to see just werewolf Pertwee fighting all the werewolves. But you do, the way he goes out is... No, they didn't have the money for that. But the way he goes out is super badass,
his
though.
Character arc, even though this is Cooper's hero movie...
Yeah.
His character, man.
Well,
the whole that speech he gives him where he goes, look, you can't save me. I'm going to be one of them pretty soon. Yeah. He goes, listen, when I signed up for the Army, I knew it was a one-way. I knew I was giving my life away. He goes, this is the job. And I'm like, you're the best.
He is awesome.
I would die for you.
Well, he's the good
and
captain,
I gotta say this again. Maybe this is a hot take. I think he's a better actor than his dad.
Oh, I think so. I love his dad, but I think he is a better actor.
Plays
we
one
only know
type
from certain things.
Yes, I think
okay.
He's got
John
more range.
Pertwee, Third Doctor, great.
Love him.
House That Dripped Blood, terrific. But Jesus Christ, Sean Pertwee tears your heart out in these
he's great,
things.
And he is.
And Gotham again. Gotham.
He's so good. Well, that's the thing about. He's a guy who can come in and
breaks your effing heart
and make a not particularly great. He'll elevate material. He will come in, and not that his dad couldn't do that, but it's just I feel like he's had a more varied career. Did either of you guys watch the BBC show 2 Weeks to Live with Maisie Williams?
Nope.
He's the bad guy in that, and he's hilarious and scary. Yeah. He's a British gang. She's like a girl who's ends up battling with this mobsters in England.
Does she still have her eyebrows in that one, or did she shave them for that?
Yeah, no, she does still have her eyebrows. That was before she did the
punk thing.
The punk thing, yeah. But he's the bad guy in that, and he vacillates between being funny and being terrifying in it. And did we see him in something before on here? We saw him in something shitty on here. Brendan, we liked him.
He was in that.
He was in a Mummy one,
remakes
right?
It was in one of the remakes of The Awakening.
Yes.
Right? Wow.
Yes,
but,
Tale of the Mummy.
Called that.
Tale of the Mummy. Yes.
Tale of the Mummy.
Russell Mulcahy's Tale of the Mummy.
Right.
Speaking of the Shadow,
fine in it. He's one of the only good things. He's acting his butt off, and that movie is
I'm just looking at his career, right? And it's like he's great in the Kurt Russell movie Soldier. Like he will just
great in Event Horizon.
Event Horizon, he's great in that. Yeah, absolutely.
He's to Paul W.S. Anderson.
We're pro Pertwee.
I'm just saying he is one of those guys who it's like.
I'll tell you something else. If you watch The Reckoning, he plays a witch finder in that movie, and he is
more reason to watch it.
Perfect casting.
That is on my list for sure. But yeah, he's great in the Alan Partridge movie. Steve Coogan, he's the SWAT commander in that.
Alpha Papa. Yeah.
Alpha Papa. Yeah, really it's so good. And he's not, he's great in that because he's the one who's not funny. He's just like, this is a very serious situation.
Yeah.
What are you doing, you idiot? It's great.
He's great.
Yeah, he's just one of those guys who can do anything.
He needs to get all the awards.
Absolutely.
He can do. Show. I would watch.
He's kind of one of those guys who doesn't get as much praise because he's so skilled and can do anything. I think sometimes guys like that, it's like they tend to fixate on people who can do one thing really well and reward that. But here's a real chameleon actor, and in some ways that's actually like, it's not detrimental to his career, but it's detrimental to the praise. It's more of a thing where you go like, oh, he wasn't that and that and that and that. Oh yeah, he is great.
Well, we've just corrected it by the podcast.
We made this whole episode about him.
And he's apparently in the movie that Neil Marshall just finished filming as well, called Duchess. Yeah. So
man, that's not being lazy on Marshall's part. If you got a good guy, keep bringing him back.
Ooh, and Cole Meany's in that too.
If you have a Pertwee.
And Cole Meany's in that movie, who's one of my favorite actors.
Well, I love me some Cole Meany.
Yeah, man, Chief O'Brien. All right. Amongst many, many other things, but of course he's always
he's done a few other things.
No, just the Star Trek. All right, so yes, what they do is they take the broken. They did set up this earlier where a guy fell into one of the closets in this what is it, like a propane tank or Yeah.
Chekhov's propane tank.
Yeah, it falls out, and you see it because it's an action beat where it almost crushes the guy, and he rolls out of the way. But you're like, that's gonna also explode later in the movie.
There are canisters of gas in the barn, and there's also this propane tank in the house.
And they're like,
I think we're gonna have some exploding things,
and I am here for it.
I know.
Yes. I mean, this movie is, like I said, really hitting me because, like, the horror and the action, when those two things come together and it's done well, oh man, that is as exciting as it gets.
That's like
I'm gonna
chocolate.
Two great taste in one candy cup. Reese's peanut butter.
That's my review of Dog Soldiers.
That's true.
Two great tastes. It tastes great together.
Yeah.
But I will ask one backstory question of the two of you when we get to the end.
Okay.
We need to get to the end.
So they what they do is they load this tank into the back of the Jeep that was already wrecked. So they cut the fuel line so it's leaking fuel, and then Cooper gets it driving towards the barn because they're like, okay, well if the
girl tells them
that the werewolves are holed up in there.
That because of her studies of wolves, that they're more likely to be in a place they're familiar with.
Right.
While they regroup for the next.
Which is a very late for the soldiers. That's when they go, oh, this is their house. Oh.
Right.
Yeah. They're the family.
Right.
Yes. And so they're like, all right, this is our chance to, because they're like, do you really think we can take them all out? It's like, well, we're going to take out as many as we can, and that's pretty good.
Yeah. Right.
And so, yes, they do this. They push it. You get the great moment of the guy trying to light the match to ignite and it won't light, it won't light, it won't light. And then talk about a big hero moment when Pertwee comes out in slow motion with that Molotov cocktail and just is like, yeah!
Yep.
Dude, what a gift this part was to him.
And he looks at the camera and goes, I own this movie.
That's right.
He just looks at the camera and goes, Pertwee.
Yeah, Pertwee. And then he's just no explanation. He doesn't die or anything. He's just not in the rest of the movie. He just did a mic drop and disappeared from the film.
It's so weird. I think they try to
put me out. He just faded away. So he blows up. They explode this thing, and we're supposed to be like, all right, we did it, yay! And then it's pretty quick. It's like, wait a minute. There weren't any werewolves in that barn, were there? Because this is where, like I said, I like the moments where they choose to just like, okay, we've gotten this. And now you can have Kevin McKidd's character go like, wait a minute, did those photos you took those, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yep.
You're one of them. There aren't any werewolves. This is all a bunch of, you're just fucking with us.
You're part of the family.
And she is part of the family, but saw this as the opportunity to get out of the family, right?
Yeah.
Right. She honestly thought they were going to rescue her.
Right. But I don't want to be a part of this anymore. But I'm still protecting them because I'm,
which is all, I mean,
she
turns into the classic, like, Wolfman kind of protagonist where it's like, I didn't want this. Like, I don't want to be this. Right. But she's kind of not going about it in the best way either.
And it could be that she starts to change.
Yes.
She's doing a little changing.
She does some changing. I like her mid-wolf thing where she's just the mouth of teeth.
Change in.
Even though Billy Joel asked her not to go changing, but there she was.
Don't go changing? Oh,
yeah, the eyes go yellow.
I know, and she does. She says that when she goes,
changing.
This is going to break Billy Joel's heart, but I have to change.
She does it.
I'm sorry, Billy. No.
Billy Joel, that's where he got up and left the theater. I'm done with this movie.
I told her not to change. I'm going to go drive my car into someone's house.
I literally said to her.
I'm going to drive into a tree out of anger.
He was so distraught by this film, he drove his car
run into a tree.
Man, that was
head first into a tree.
Man, that was a weird thing when he kept crashing his car, but he wasn't drunk, and you're just like, what is going on, man?
World's worst driver.
You surely must have enough money to be able to pay someone else to drive you, right? Because clearly this isn't for you.
Exactly.
So yes, she turns into, and so now all the werewolves. I love the shot where she bares her wolf teeth, and the pack is suddenly behind her,
like standing behind.
Yeah, and it's like, nice. Fuck, we're not getting out of this, are we? And this is where it splits into basically 3 sort of separate beats of the one guy in the kitchen, and then Pertwee with the flamethrower, the makeshift flamethrower up in the bathroom, and McKidd is trying to punch his way through a wall because that's going to be their big escape. Is they're going to break through one room into another.
Yeah, actually, McKidd, as in Cooper, is in the bathroom with Pertwee. That's very awkward. But the wall.
Well, they were making out for about 15 or 20.
I mean, look, man,
we progressive film, loved it.
Yeah,
we did have the whole when he was drunk, he was doing like, "I love this man, I love him."
Yeah.
So I'm just saying, I think there was some stuff there.
Okay, there was a little something.
Yeah, subtext, and I'm here for it.
Yeah. I am all day long. So he's kicking through the wall into another room from the bathroom while Pertwee's doing the flamethrower. The guy in the kitchen. What is so awesome about that scene is not just the way it's directed and so forth. I do love a scene where it's someone who goes, "I have no chance. I'm still going out fighting," because literally he's like using pans and smacking werewolf in the face with
anything he can find.
Anything he can find, and he's also being cocky and like going, "Yeah, you like that?" And the thing with him and the knife, and again, it's like cha 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 a million times into the werewolf's back, and then he's like, "Yeah," and I'm like, "Oh man, he's going down fighting," and then. He hasn't succeeded because again, they're hurt, but unless you got silver, you're not killing it. So it does grab him finally, throws him up against the wall, and he has one of those great lines, which is, what is it? Something like,
I hope I give you the shits.
Yeah.
Now here's a note from the trivia that originally there was a graphic sequence of him being ripped in half by 2 werewolves who would have pulled on each end of him. But Marshall said that the audience had come to like the character so much it was too traumatizing to see him die in such a graphic fashion. And he thought just the note of, I hope he give you the shits, and then the cutaway and he died was more effective.
Yeah, I think if only the showrunners of Walking Dead had done that with Glenn's death. I think.
Oh no, man! You gotta feel that shit, man.
Oh, that was
all right. You understand? You're not supposed to enjoy this show.
Too much for me.
Yeah, that was a real all right. I get it. Even being the resident gore hound of the show, I'm like, all right, folks, we get it. The world
I don't
is
need
awful.
to see a guy with his eye hanging out, pleading for his life. And
it's like I took my son. He was much younger to see the first Jurassic World because he'd already seen the other Jurassic Parks.
Yeah.
And we watching it, and all of a sudden, the publicity woman gets torn apart by 2 pair of
the woman who for no reason gets it worse than anyone else.
And it's just, I was just like, I'm sorry about this, devil. And he's like, I love it. This is great.
Once again. That's a good kid right there.
But it took him a while to get there. That was a kid that was
very afraid
to watch Rise of the Guardians.
It's an interesting thing. We were just talking about that when we had Elliot on.
Monsters versus Aliens, he wouldn't watch it.
It's an interesting. I was also a real scaredy kid, like little kid too. I feel like that often leads to then down the road you become like a horror nerd. I think that often.
I think so. I think it's. I remember when I was a kid and Brendan will back me up on this. I didn't watch anything scary for a long time until I got talked into watching Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein.
The most blood-curdling horror the screen has ever seen.
I think I watched Bob Hope, Ghost Breakers, and then
that was kind of my trajectory.
And then I watched Kolchak, and then I watched the Kolchak TV show.
That was kind of my trajectory too. I remember tiptoeing into it with this is kind of a comedy thing, and then whatever. But as a kid, even the trailers for horror movies, I'd be like, oh no.
Yeah. I used to run out of the room when the TV commercial for The Exorcist, or It's Alive,
and now,
or Magic was another one I would run out of the room.
Oh yeah. And now people are like, "What are you broken? Nothing's," because I'm just like, there's a jump scare, sort of like, all right. Now I'm more like,
I'll lean over to my wife and just go blah. Because I know something is about to jump out.
Yes, that's the thing. I'm now more like, if something does get me, I'm like, well done, movie. I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
Well played.
I have no problem with horror. The only thing I still can barely watch is Monster Squad
Terrifier
with Fred
2.
Grandy.
That's for different reasons.
That still terrifies me to this day.
Oh yeah, for me it's Groovy Ghoulies, so I can't.
Groovy Ghoulies, understood.
The animation is just too good.
Or the
especially when they start doing their songs.
If people listen to our Vincent Price show, we also know that the trauma at the was it the Red Buttons?
No, Red Skelton.
Red Buttons. Red Skelton.
Favorite ghost stories.
Yes.
Yeah, ghost story anthology that he had nothing to do with, of course. Just put his name on it.
Of course.
But they put this insane cover that scared the crap out of me when I was a kid.
It is. I do stand by.
I'm gonna get a T-shirt.
I don't know how.
Shut up.
There is something oddly unsettling about it. I do agree. There is something very strange about it.
It's very surreal.
Skelton.
But at the time, I was also running out of the room when the opening credits of Night Gallery came on.
Oh, well, yeah.
All
absolutely.
those screaming faces. And
it's spooky.
The theme,
it is spooky.
The haunting theme.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, we have to get back to this movie.
Well,
because,
we're almost done with this movie, in fact.
We're almost done.
So they break through the wall, and then they break into the wall. Like they're in the wall, and I love they just find the skeleton, and I like the moment of Pertwee being like, "Well, that's just we don't have time to be scared of it, but that's pretty fucked up that there's just a skeleton." Like he just has this moment of like, not now.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing is that this werewolf family apparently they bring food back, and it's interesting because
it's so much more messed up,
Yeah, when they talked about the people that had been famously killed around this area before, it's like bodies were never found, but like bloody tents. So that's all to set up this, which is when he breaks through, there's still some recent kills in there, some of which are in decomposed mode.
And by the way, I don't know if you guys saw this in the trivia, but some of these bodies were ones that were made for Event Horizon. For the hanging bodies.
Oh, interesting.
They reuse some of the ones that were already made.
The brief 5 seconds when you see on the video of what happened to the previous crew and stuff.
Yeah.
Apparently it was all space werewolves.
This is a sequel. Pertwee's like, oh, not again.
Exactly.
But basically, this allows him, very importantly, because he reaches through and their belongings are all scattered around. So he'll find things. He's using them because guess which werewolf finds him down there?
Well, because of course, before this happens, Pertwee takes out the rest of them in the kitchen by cutting the gas line and lighting it.
He cuts the gas line and lights it, and just as he's turning, his eyes go yellow.
Oh, it's so cool, man. What a cool badass
with
horror.
The teeth and
what a badass horror movie death. Oh,
right.
Yeah, what a great death in this movie, and what a
and you see Cooper from below in the basement looking up at it as it's blowing up.
And I'll say that also for a lower budget movie, all the explosions are pretty good.
I will say it's a pretty good model. Yeah. I'm like, it's a model. But it still looks really good.
And that's the thing. Everything in this movie is even the couple places you can kind of see the seams. Still, we've seen so much shit too that I think we're also like, that's pretty good, man. That's not bad at all. Props. Yeah, like it's everything is pretty well done here.
But the only werewolf left down there is our buddy Ryan,
who's got the sword.
He's got a sword through him.
And my god, the scene where the blade of the sword starts going into Cooper's mouth and it's just scratching
the
on
thing
his
is that
teeth.
The werewolf is like grabbing at him, knowing again because it's Ryan. He's like, I will push the sword through him because I can't get it out of myself. So he's shoving the sword purposefully into Cooper's mouth, and you just hear. And as a person with a prominent space between my teeth, you just hear the sword squeaking past teeth. So metal on teeth. And I'm like, gah.
That's when Brendan left the room.
It is horrifying, and it speaks to once again
because they went Zee-hua.
It had nothing to do with the sword on the teeth. It was all just that. Get out of here! Get out of here with this movie.
How did Mancini score this too? What?
And we have not given him enough credit. But Hero Dog, also a good dog actor. There was
good dog,
good
movie dog. I love a good movie dog.
Hero Dog jumps on Ryan Werewolf, which isn't going to take him down, but does distract him long enough to pull the sword out of the guy's mouth.
Oh.
And so Ryan Werewolf is struggling with Hero Dog, and then we see Cooper's hand find the silver letter opener from the very beginning of the movie.
Chekhov's letter opener?
Yeah.
Chekhov's letter opener.
It had to happen, but it's still satisfying. You know it's coming, but you're still like, yeah. Because you just, number one, you've been wanting, even before he's a werewolf, you've been wanting this guy to get it.
But I got to think, it is pretty quick that our friend Cooper seems to know this is pure silver. And I gotta say, if you gave me something covered in a chromium kind of thing or something pure silver, I wouldn't know by looking at it. But he looks at it sort of like, oh my God, this is actual silver.
You don't remember at the beginning of the movie that they said, Private Cooper, you're the one that can detect pure silver.
That's why we want you in Special Forces.
That's why we Special Forces.
However, you've got a problem with gold and food.
That's right.
But so Cooper shivs right through the chest, close to the sword with the silver letter opener, and then there's a pretty cool effect of just like you see like
chest,
lights, kind of like
inside.
It's like
nice.
Ooh, there is supernatural stuff going on here, and it basically causes Werewolf Man to explode.
Well, he shoots it in the head.
Well, there's that, but he's also basically coming apart.
Yeah, he is coming apart, and then he hits him with, and I did read this.
But yeah, Cooper does have a line like, I'm clipping as I shoot you.
Because he does say, do you think it's all over? And then, it is now.
Yeah, and he also says, I'm clipping while I'm shooting.
And you do get the great shot. You do get the great shot of just the werewolf head at the bottom of frame, and the blood,
Yes. Yeah, that's
good.
That's good stuff.
It's good, man.
And guess what? Cooper survived,
and the dog, he and the dog are walking. We just the last shot is just them standing in the burning rubble that was the house. Who knows where they're gonna go from here? But or how they're gonna get.
They're gonna they take the photographs to the.
Yes, because we do see at the end of the movie all the photos and the thing about was it werewolves ate my platoon. It's
what's great is
below
the credits.
The headline of who won the soccer match.
Yes. Yep. And I thought that was kind of very darkly funny, brilliant. But through the credits, it's not a button scene, but you're seeing the photos that she had when she was doing the flashes to scare off the werewolves. It was taking pictures. Right. So you're seeing black and white action shots of werewolves. They all look great. And you're like, oh, I guess that's cool. But then we actually see, or I guess it's intended, that Cooper got out of there with that camera and was like, I'm going to prove it. And what's more, if I expose this, then the government can't be doing what they're doing.
But then, of course, it's just the tabloid,
But then only the tabloid seems to be covering it. And it is, the big headline is about who won the football match between England and Germany or whatever. And then just in the corner in a very tabloid way, yes, werewolves ate my platoon. It's pretty great.
And then that's the end of the movie. It's once again it gets out of there. This movie is lean, but not in a not too short. Still at 105 minutes, it moves really well.
Mm-hmm.
This is great. I mean, as always, when we wrap up, I think this is a firm recommend from us. This one you definitely need to see.
100%.
And 100%. I agree. This is in my probably top 5 werewolf movies easily. There aren't a ton of great ones, but man, when they work, they're some of my favorite monster movies.
Yeah.
I think it always has to have like an angle that really exploits the idea of it, but within maybe a different genre.
Well, I think we saw that one of the other movies from the 2000, because we're still just in 2002, but one of the other movies we've watched so far that we also dug was Ginger Snaps, which took the werewolf thing to the teen
I can't
drama.
believe I didn't mention that. Yes,
that's also a great different take on it, right? Like,
and even if you do something that's pretty straightforward with werewolves, I mean, there are ways to do them well. Yeah. And I think it does have a lot to do with
the social commentary of the Howling. It's the wry humor of American Werewolf in London. It's that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah, there's lots of things you can do.
Yeah.
But also you cannot avoid the visceralness of werewolves.
Yes.
I mean, zombies became this thing that became just enormous thanks to Walking Dead and video games and so forth. But I'm sitting there going, yeah, I think werewolves are scarier because they're incredibly fast and they're ferocious and they're animals. Yeah, zombies want to eat brains, but you can stab them through the head.
There is that visceral nature.
All you have to do is watch Rocket Raccoon take apart the dude's face.
Oh,
Guardians 3.
Boy, that was satisfying. I enjoyed that.
Got defaced.
Hey, let me ask you something. High Evolutionary, he's a genetics expert.
Why he is.
Grow himself like a new face. And
well, in the comics, he just has a purple metallic face mask. So you're gonna have to ask James Gunn.
Maybe that's me. Maybe that's me.
Well, I like the idea though.
But I did have a question about dog soldiers for you guys.
Yes.
Oh yes.
This has to do with kind of backstory stuff, and it also has to do with I can't watch a murder mystery without like going, okay, but who knew what when?
Sure.
So in this movie,
yes,
did the girl set up the government to send out the soldiers to get the girl back to the government?
I think so, yes.
I think so.
That's what we're supposed to think.
And once she sees that her family wiped special forces guys out, she's like, oh shit. Well, I guess I'll just throw my lot in with these guys and pretend like, I'm an innocent.
She does have
because
some
she
line,
was not going to be taken away.
She does
by
have
the
a
government.
line in there to Cooper where it's like, I saw my chance and I'm taking it, right? Like there's a thing like that where she has something about. Right.
She's not a full-on. I mean, it's a good character because she has a good motivation, and she's not a villain.
No. But she's about herself though. It's about I got to get her out of here.
Yeah.
Whereas Pertwee and the kid are trying to get their soldiers.
Another thing, the guy saying there was only supposed to be one.
Yes.
If they're looking for the one, the girl who contacted them or fed them false information or whatever, that would make sense for that line. That the intel is only one.
Okay. What if her family found out that she was planning this and they're like, no, we're not going to
And
let
is
her
that
do that.
the whole thing about using the other soldiers as bait was that like we'll sort of get them to go after those people while we just grab you and get out of here?
No, I think the government literally only thought there was one.
There was one, yeah.
Right.
Otherwise,
and did not know there was a whole pack.
There would have been like a lot of special forces out there.
Yeah,
that's true.
More than just a one squad. That's what I kept thinking the whole time watching this the second time through was, I think she told the government that there is all these disappearances are a werewolf.
Yeah,
they need to come and get the werewolf.
Yeah,
and then they can study it. For whatever reason they want, and it's just so it gets her.
And she may have, as a werewolf, it had gone according to plan. She may have given herself up easily as a werewolf, so she wouldn't get killed.
Right.
There's a lot of.
No, they didn't have any silver with them either, so
they had but they had a bunch of trank darts and like tracking equipment and stuff. I think it was their mission was also vague, what they were told by the government, but they were clearly told to go out there and get a thing. Take this stuff. I think there was a lot of like the dissemination of information between the different things was very, they only need to know.
I think the whole thing was set up by her.
Oh, totally. I think yes, I definitely.
That if you look at it from her perspective, this has just been a shit show from moment.
Yeah, she's like, oh god, all I wanted was. Damn it!
Oh, why was it gonna really? Okay, good. Oh, come on, really? Cooper, he's pretty smart. No, I guess he's not that.
But to answer your question definitively, we'll get Neil Marshall on next week. Anyway,
I wish, man. That guy. By the way, if anybody, I've recommended this show before. I'm a huge fan of the podcast, the Best Movies Never Made, where they go through
I've listened to several
scripts,
episodes. That's a good
scripts of movies, and sometimes they have the writers on. They did a whole episode with Neil Marshall where he went through like 3 or 4 things that never took off. One of which was Last Voyage of the Demeter.
Last what?
Last Voyage of the Demeter, which is now coming out, but it's not his script.
But not his version.
Not his version, which he talked about. But yeah, he's He was on a few. I think there was a Hellraiser reboot at one point too. That he a lot of it is stuff like that.
Dog Soldier sequels.
Dog Soldier sequels as well. Yeah, really good. He's a really, no surprise, huge nerd who's talking about all kinds of stuff.
Sure,
so, but I highly recommend that show. They do a lot of horror movies because they do a lot of remakes and franchise stuff, obviously, because that's where you can sort of chart that too. But yeah, I highly recommend listening to that. Also, it's just an interesting. That's right, his script for Pendragon, which was to be his massive King Arthur. Yeah, he was trying to get a big King Arthur movie off the ground. That never came to be.
Yeah, I don't.
We've got Excalibur.
I think that's an interesting thing. It's like Zack Snyder always talks about how that's his dream project. It's just like some people just are fixated on that, right? Where it's like that's what I have to do.
Well, I mean, it is.
Well, Guy Ritchie wanted to make his King Arthur
Legend of the Sword. I saw it. It's very Guy Ritchie. It's very much you that King Arthur then.
Right.
You got King Arthur bare knuckle boxing. Anyway, next week on the show, step down in quality, and yes, we may have already recorded it. But we are talking about the adaptation of Anne Rice's Queen of the Damned.
Great film.
Great
film.
Oh my
Can't
God.
wait to talk about it.
Join us.
We already have.
Yeah, and we do have our resident Anne Rice expert Olivia Gray with us. We'll be back to talk about that. Spoiler, she's not a fan. Yeah, she did not enjoy
She
that
spends
movie.
most of the podcast, spoiler alert for those of you who haven't listened to it, she spends most of it crying. And it's us consoling her for about 2 hours.
Yeah.
I like this. I thought she would have been weeping for reading all of those S&M books that Anne Rice.
No, I think she. I don't know. I won't.
I don't think we ever got into those with her, but no, definitely.
Those make me cry.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, we'll talk about that, and of course, you're probably already a patron if you're listening to this. But if you're not already, make sure you are one because you can hear.
If you're not already. Where's the money?
Yeah, where's our money?
Where's the money?
You can hear the three of us.
Daddy gotta eat
every week on our patron show, Price is Right, where we move through the entire career, at least the genre horror career of Vincent Price.
Yeah.
Yes, it's delightful and it brings a tear of gruesome horror to everybody's eyes.
Now I think he would have found Dog Soldiers a little too gory.
I will say, if you watch him in interviews, his big thing was, well, I like the horror that I don't call them horrors really. I call them thrillers.
Yes.
Thrillers, but. The horror to me was more like the Blackboard Jungle or the Man with the Golden Arms.
Yes,
nightmares.
Those are true horror.
Yeah, to his point, I think he's right. I don't think he would have liked Dog Soldiers very much.
Far too gruesome.
Because it's not enough upper class people going. Ooh.
Yeah.
Yes. In the Vincent Price movie, the werewolves would have been attacking a big manor of some sort. And
it would have been a family curse.
It would have been It would have been about the family and the soldiers coming, but he would have been the leader of the werewolf family, right?
Right, and he would have just been saying, "You really don't want to stick around here. I promise you.
Things are going to get awfully spooky when the moon comes out."
All right, that's another podcast.
That's another podcast. So listen to that. Patreon.podbean.com/punch.
I literally just another 45 minutes of that flashed before my eyes. I was like, "Stop it now, Brendan."
This is
stop it now.
There's a little preview of that show right there because it's Brendan going, "Oh God, they're doing impressions. They're doing impressions.
God,
Here
and
it
just
comes."
Goes on.
All right. So yes, join
okay,
us.
I'll tell you one last thing. I always tell stories about my son.
Yes.
My son has made a deal with me because I kept telling him when Joker came out, I said, before you ever see that, you've got to see King of Comedy because it's obviously what's being ripped off here. And
I'm glad you used the word ripped off.
I don't know if I'm going to see that.
Yeah.
And so he said to me a couple weeks ago, he goes, I tell you what, Dad, I'll watch King of Comedy with you if you watch Five Nights at Freddy with me. And so...
Okay.
I will. I will be happy in 10 years when you get to that year that Five Nights at Freddy's.
You know what?
I'll be happy to come on the show. With
I'll
my
just
son
say
and
this:
debate him.
I don't. The Five Nights at Freddy's movie looks terrible.
We won't be covering that.
But
okay.
You know what?
No, it doesn't fit in.
What I did really like though, I recommend Willy's Wonderland.
Animatronic.
Willy's
Wonderland is terrific, and
it's fantastic, and that
I've
is
already
a way better Five Nights at
Willy's
Freddy's
Wonderland.
movie.
And that was like, no,
because Five Nights at Freddy's does not have Nicolas Cage, and Willy's Wonderland does, and it's an amazing Nicolas Cage performance. All right,
and it's an amazing silent Nicolas Cage.
Doesn't have a line of dialogue.
We just watched Renfield, and it's terrific.
Oh, I'm so glad you said so, because I had a discussion with somebody who didn't enjoy it as much.
Who didn't like that?
Yeah, that may be on this podcast.
Do I need to disown them?
Yeah, they might. You might just have to.
But we're listening, everybody.
Can you be my brother
next week?
That's an off-mic
conversation.
But that's going to do it for this week's episode of Campbell and Jones Meet the Monsters. I'm John Campbell.
I'm Brendan Jones.
And remember, there are such things as monsters.
I hate you both so much.